Kispert now driving and rejected. And Baylor's on a break.
Smart move here. Little delay.
Flagler. Splash.
Killer.
Welcome to SicEm365 Radio.
Clean up today, and he hammers this ball down the left field line. Gone! A rocket down the line for Solak, and the Rangers start to score this afternoon. It's 1-0.
SicEm365 Radio is presented by IdealMRI.com. High-quality MRIs for $497 or less. IdealMRI.com. Your health is important, so is your budget.
Play action, Burrow. Deep left sideline, Jefferson knocked down. Patrick Surtain, the freshman, got a hand on it.
The 3 o'clock hour is sponsored by Waco Custom Marketplace. Meats, sweets, Texas treats, and a cut above the rest. 425 Lake Air Drive, Waco.
Now with 5. Mitchell wants another three, and he finds it.
And you want him to play football, Grant.
Have you downloaded the SicEm365 Radio app? Do it today on the App Store and Google Play.
That's as impressive as it gets. Baylor advances to the championship game.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
All right, here we go on this Friday afternoon. If only you could have been here like 3 to 5 minutes ago. Craig Smoak coming up I-35 from the southern part near Loop 340 and Highway 6. Me trying to navigate Lakeshore to I-35. And, of course, Paul, you were here a little bit earlier because you're accountable.
Yes.
But now, not only is the traffic, and we can do this every day, it's not just 35 in certain places, and 35 is shut down right now in many ways. It's the access roads to the access roads.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Some guy listening in L.A. or Seattle or in Virginia Beach is like, okay.
I've seen this viral video going around of like a guy driving in every city in Texas, and when he gets to Waco, it's all like, construction.
Yeah, I'll say the word. I said this yesterday, I think. I mean, it's just part of it. And you're right. People in L.A. are probably laughing about it. But, just the random shutdowns of lanes that you don't know about until you get on top of the shutdown of the lane, that's what's causing the problems because they are not letting people know that there's like, hey, this is closing down soon. And so people just go to and even if they do show that, people go to the very last minute to try to slip in, and it creates chaos. So, yeah, it is a busy Friday in Waco. I think the Visitors Bureau is very busy. I think that some of that's definitely started to pick up. So around downtown, which is just right over here, yeah, it's hopping right now.
I want to kind of take myself 11 years here, and Scott Root today was on with the radio station, The Ticket in Dallas, and so somebody put that up on the site. I don't get a chance to listen to a lot of talk radio myself because, it's just I do that for a living. But one of the things is that I remember 11 years ago, and Paul and I were in Indianapolis, in fact, for the Super Bowl, and one of the things that the person asked us about, it was right after, it was right before RG3 won the Heisman Trophy, and I believe that there was still, you're from Waco. Then the next year we were somewhere, that's the home of RG3 and with Brittany Griner. And then, of course, then it changed again, and now it's, of course, Chip and Joanna for the last several years, but now it was about how the men's basketball team has given this city and, of course, the fan base a ball. By the way, Baylor won a national championship. Armstrong, that's your alma mater. Did you know that Monday night, the school you attended won a men's basketball national title? Did you know that?
Well, I'm glad you asked him that. I'm glad you asked him that because we really haven't heard him say too much about it.
No, we haven't, and I thought about that. I had a little note. Jack kind of just barged on the set one day and talked about what it meant to him. And Jack, I'm going to ask you. We haven't even asked you guys. You're the ones that are like there.
Yeah, you're Baylor.
What did that mean to you?
You're putting me on the spot here. I don't really know. It's incredible.
You can't even put it into words.
No. There are moments I'm walking down the street and I'm like, wait, we're national champions. Like they actually won the national championship, and it still hasn't fully hit me. So
Jack, you have a microphone nearby where you can give us your thoughts, and I know it means a lot to you. What did it mean to you when you realized with 5 minutes left or whenever it was that it was going to happen?
Oh, I mean, that's everything you want. Like, that is, like, I hope we win more, but that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. And to be able to be at Baylor when it happened, to be able to be on the field at McLean with all the other students living it up. It was insane. It was incredible. It
was an incredible video. Armstrong, do we have that from yesterday? Because I don't think we ever played it. I know this is like 5 days. We might play this, Paul, into like possibly June, and I don't care whether people like it or not unless you're a listener or a viewer. This was McLean Stadium as it became pretty much official that Baylor was going to win the men's. We've seen many different videos. Here it is. This is McLean Stadium. You've seen this before. Look at the crowd. I love it. I love the fact that people are having fun and they're excited and they're pouring out of the stands like they just beat Texas or Oklahoma, whatever.
Yeah, this was bigger than beating Texas or OU, but I know the point you're making. Yeah, and it was crazy to see that. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. But I didn't realize Jack was out there too. I knew Armstrong was out there. But, people just in a moment like that, that's how you celebrate. You know what I mean?
That's innocence.
Jack, where were you in this scrum?
He was in the front.
Jack,
I was up around the goal line, and
a little closer, a little bit closer.
When everyone started kind of packing together tighter, I think I made it like 10 feet away from the goalpost.
Okay, like, so you didn't get smashed against the goalpost. That was what I was waiting for next. Somebody to do like they did when they beat A&M that one time or whatever it was, Paul.
I'm surprised no one tore down the goalpost.
They just picked the goalpost.
Chunk them in the brazos.
And of course, there's going to be some, oh my God! But that is what we have not seen in a long time. Remember, what was the football game? Was it Notre Dame beat Clemson, and they stormed the field, and what was some of the reactions to that? It was joy. Yeah. Right? It was fun, excitement.
Of course, there's some. Get the virus.
Yeah, my God, no one's wearing a mask.
Yeah, my thing about Notre Dame beating Clemson is you're the University of Notre Dame. You shouldn't storm the field for anything.
Yeah, but in this case, Baylor winning their first, what is the men's basketball title. Women have won 3 times with Kim Mulkey. We know that. And, of course, they've won some other national titles in other sports, but this was on a different level that Baylor fans had ever experienced before. So that's good stuff, Armstrong. Thank you for having that. Now, tonight, the Baylor baseball team, they're at home. Is that right, Paul?
Mm-hmm. They better be, or it's going to be a really weird first pitch for the Baylor basketball team showing up.
So Maceo Teague put up on Twitter soon after the national championship, maybe the next day, that he wants to throw out the first pitch for the Reds. He's a native of Cincinnati, and his hometown, they put out this video of everyone everyone knows him. Good luck, Maceo. It lasted for a long, long time. So tonight, 7:30 at the Baylor Ballpark, which is a beautiful facility. Tonight, Baylor against West Virginia. And the basketball team will be there to throw out the first pitch.
So that's a lot of first pitches.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like 12, 13 first pitches.
Soak it up.
Yeah, no, they announced that last night. I don't know if that's a playoff of Maceo's request that will be fulfilled at some point at a Reds game, or, it's just the smart idea to do. But, yeah, I think that's smart for Steve Rodriguez and his bunch. They've actually been playing pretty well as of late. They've been picking up some wins, so – it's a beautiful day. Starting to turn that corner into getting humid again. Yeah. But it's still nice. And so, yeah, like I said, it's busy as heck all around Waco. So if you want to go watch the national champs throw out the first pitch, tonight's the night to go out and do that.
And this was nice. I didn't know this until I saw this. The Baylor football will have open practice for the fans. If you want to go to McLean Stadium tomorrow, 10:30 the gates will open. It's at McLean Stadium, 10:30 tomorrow, and then again next week on the 17th. The gates will open at 10:30. Fans who want to go watch the football team, which is nice. That's another sign, right, that maybe things are getting better. And people who have not seen the football team since they were blown out by Oklahoma State have a chance to go see what Dave Aranda and company are doing with a little bit of a new twist with the offense.
Well, that open weekend next weekend will be the spring game, right?
The 24th.
It's the 24th.
So they have
2
open
weeks.
practice tomorrow, open practice next Saturday, then spring game. So 3 consecutive Saturdays, you have a better opportunity than perhaps you've had in a long, long time to go see some of the new people and some of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a week more than I thought. I really thought like next weekend was, I guess I'm just getting lost in dates because it seems like they've already had a bunch of practices at this point. So, hey, that's good. That's another week we'll be able to talk about them.
Also, Paul, you're going to have to read these for me because I don't have my readers for some reason because of the traffic. I have them in the front seat market. This is from Diane on the text line, 254-339-1122. Play all the Natty stuff over and over. It will never get old.
No, it never does. It never does.
Did it for you at Florida State when you were there?
No.
No, of course not.
No.
Why would it?
The only negative to it, and I've said this many, many times, is that the only downside to it, guys, is that no season ever, unless this happens again, will taste the same. You have had a $200 steak. That's what this tastes like.
Wagyu? Is that what
you've had like the Kobe Wagyu, whatever it is. You've had the fanciest steak. It's tender. It's wonderful. It's delicious.
But you ate it, and now...
But now, the only time you get that is when it happens again. Now, you'll have other seasons that taste like good steak, but at the end of it, you're going to be like, man, that other steak was so dang good.
So good, yeah.
You know.
It's
everybody's going to be spoiled now, but it's good.
Worth it.
You know,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it.
But at least you can say you had the steak.
Yeah, exactly. You had the experience, and, you know, there's no other team in Texas right now outside of what... UTEP in a roundabout way, quite frankly, that can say anything really about men's basketball championships. You know, Tech had their opportunity, like I said the other night. That's the big difference, you know, in teams or programs taking that next step is, you know, you get the opportunity, you got to go and win it. And so if they had gone out the other night and played Gonzaga and lost that game, this would have been a really tough week, and it would have been a lot of what-ifs.
God.
You know, will they ever get a chance to get back? And quite frankly, I'd have a hard time seeing them getting back anytime soon if they had lost that game. But the fact that they won it and they left no doubt, man, it just makes a world of difference. It just makes a huge world of difference to get that done.
And sometimes when you win it, then, of course, it's hard to sustain it. 254-339-1122, Diana on the text. We got something as well from Scotty B, of course. But you know what sometimes happens when you do win it? Sometimes when you win it, then it doesn't make it easier to win it, but you might win another one. Like in football, or I'm not saying Baylor's going to win the national championship football. They got a long way to go. But you win it in basketball, and it's not such an uphill climb. And especially after what they've dealt with the last couple of years, or being close in the Elite Eight with Duke and Kentucky, you might now win a couple of times because of what you've done and what's on your jersey.
Oh, yeah.
There's like high school football teams that are good, but they win sometimes because teams get intimidated by the jersey. They do. It happens, no matter 2A or 6A.
I'll tell you, I think Allen's won a couple of their close games because the team that's might be leading late in the game realizes, like, oh, my God, we're beating Allen.
Yeah, I bet, Mart usually blows people out. This year they were upset in the championship game. They've won some because of just the fact they're talented, incredibly coached, but there's that intimidation factor.
Yeah, it's like when you watch, like, Texas, for example, and you're just waiting for them to win at the end of the game no matter how they played, because that's just what,
even if they have a bad team.
Yeah, like, you're just like, they're still going to find a way to win the game, and, that eventually has faltered for them in recent years. But, yeah, there's going to, you also have a much bigger bullseye. There's going to be a lot of people that target on your back, and Baylor's already had a pretty big target, but that target on their back is bigger than ever, and so they'll have to contend with that. But, yeah, at the same time, it could lead to, that player who might not have otherwise considered you coming to play and being being your next RG3 or being your next, Davion Mitchell or Jared Butler, all because of what happened on Monday night. So, yeah, like I've been repeating the phrase all week long, but it's a program changer for sure.
I got to tell you guys something. There's a certain area that always seems to be kind of worried about what Baylor does. Is there like a section of Texas that always seems to be a little bit almost consumed, even though they act like they're not?
Austin?
There has not been a peep. Crickets. There's some that don't even know. You wouldn't even know the game was played.
Yeah.
And I love it that way because that means they are pissed.
Actually, I just saw a text from the earlier show from this guy about maybe that same sentiment. T-Rex, you're on SicEm365 Radio.
Hey, gentlemen, I know that text you're referring to. I was wondering if our old friend UT Mike is ever going to call back in again. I called him out one time. I told him to come to a game. I'd buy him a ticket. He didn't show up, nor did his team. I don't know. Maybe he really was a T-shirt fan. Maybe he really wasn't UT Mike. Maybe he was blank insert Mike. I don't know. Good riddance to him. If you're listening, probably are, because we're always in your brains. We're always in your mind. We got free rent space, Texas. Appreciate you. Anyways, doesn't matter. UT Mike, you can kiss it. Sic'em Bears, guys. It's Friday. It's the first Friday. As they keep saying on up-tempo, it seems like we're going to say that. I wish we had calls on Saturday and Sunday, so we'd say it's the first Saturday is national champs. First Sunday. Heck, maybe next Monday they'll say it's the second Monday as national champs. I say run it back for 365 days. Just keep it going. Because until someone beats us, we're the reigning national champs. So that's all you got to know about that. But I do have a question for Armstrong. I'd have to go back and try and figure out what episode, what day I called in on. But I feel like Armstrong said, and no matter how much he hates Nike Volt, that he would wear Nike Volt if we won the national championship. So I'm waiting for a picture of Armstrong in Nike Volt gear. I mean, you tell me the size, I'll put you in it. I'll get you a shirt, Armstrong. You will wear Nike Volt because we're the national champs.
I hate the Nike Volt so much, but for you, T-Rex, if you get me one, I will wear it. I'm a large. Send it.
You're a large? All right.
Here we go.
I'll find you. I have a large shirt for you. I'll bring it down. I'll be at the parade on Tuesday. I hope I see you there.
Okay.
Anyways, one real quick request I have for you guys. If you know any bail bondsmen in the Dallas area, let me know because it's my bachelor party weekend.
Oh, dear God.
You got to be prepared. I am an Eagle Scout, so I'm always prepared. So just let me know. Sic'em Bears.
Hey, T-Rex, it's always dangerous to follow up a question with you because, please be careful. Have fun and whatever you're going to do because I know it's going to be beyond anything that most humans would do. But please make sure that you're careful. We want you to be here on the second Friday after the national championship. Well, it'll be actually the first Friday after the national championship, okay? Enjoy, but be careful.
Will do. Matt and DC will be with me, so God himself only knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to Matt and DC. By the way, Chapman's bail bonds. Call Terry Chapman.
They can go up there.
Yeah, he can go up there. Terry knows everybody.
Yeah.
Also, the national championship parade. We talked about first pitch Baylor Ballpark tonight, 7:30. That ought to be a hell of a crowd. Also, the national championship parade Tuesday of next week. That's going to be. I think like at 6 o'clock or whatever time it might be. Open practice tomorrow for Baylor football. There's a lot going on right now. Our guest lineup, Kevin Rogers. Paul, you remember him?
Very well. Very well. He had an interesting last year, I'll just tell you that.
Well, but you know what? He had 20 rebounds in a game at a Big 12 tournament game when they beat Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And he was also a guy that put up he was a very productive player.
He's the reason. He probably wouldn't say. I think he was the biggest reason they went to the zone because he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Like he was a power forward type.
He's a power forward. He's a big guy. He wasn't real fast, and he was not a man-to-man guy. He was a zone guy.
Well,
and then when they went to the zone, he got a lot more effective.
He's still playing. He's playing in some, semi-pro type leagues. He's going to join us at 3:30. Treston Ebner. Craig was there for practice yesterday. We'll have Treston Ebner and Juice Johnson today at 3:45 and 4:30. Jared Sandler, Rangers pre- and post-game analyst, and also does some color work during the games. He's going to join us at 4 o'clock today. The Rangers have at least a couple of things. It's first week. But there's a couple of guys, some guy named Lowe, Paul, that's off to. You've seen that, Craig? He leads the league in RBI. Also, Katie Sager-Smith. There's a lot to talk about with Katie because volleyball tournament. We discussed this yesterday. They're playing in like a convention center, and there's a lot of things that are going on about what the surface is. It safe or not? I want to get Katie's feedback on that as Baylor enters the NCAA tournament in volleyball. Eric Galko on the draft. He's probably right now cutting a couple of lines to get ready for his segment here with us at 5 o'clock. And he's full throttle. Art Strickland, we're going to try to get him in trouble by calling him at Augusta National with his cell phone on silent. And, of course, if they find that out, you at times kicked off. You can get kicked off the course. Armstrong, do you have the tweet that I sent to you, the making of a championship logo?
Oh, I have that video, yes.
You do?
Hold on.
You want to do that in the next segment, Paul? When do we have it? When do we break before, Kevin?
Yeah, I want to break before Kevin. Let's do this and then we'll break.
Have you seen this, Craig?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it, Paul?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's very unique, and this is from Courtney Scrivano. Mm-hmm. She and remember, this is like Jovan and that group that are unbelievable. This is Baylor making this championship logo, and at the end there's some print for you to script for you to read of why there's the number 99 was used for a second, and there's a reason for that. Here is the making of the championship logo for Baylor men's basketball. I guess I should talk over it. You can see there's little tiny bits of things that they put in here, and eventually you'll see the number 99, and they explain that. There's the net, of course, for those of you who are not watching. And this is so cool the way they can do this. What do they record it? Fall like a time-lapse thing?
Yeah.
And eventually they have the national championship logo. It's very close. Now you got to get the color. There you are. Boom. Now watch what they say here, I think, at the end. The Texas Star in the basketball. Joy, the team motto, left corner. The Indianapolis red finish checkered line. 14 dots for the number of players, and 99 in the net for the number of players who have played for Scott Drew since his first year. And we've probably interviewed about 30 of them.
Yeah. We're about to interview one of them here in a few minutes.
In a little bit. How cool is that? Well, isn't technology, from where I was and what I've seen in the changes just in the 40 years in radio, television, or in my life, it's insane.
You used to have to cut tape with a razor blade, right? Can you imagine doing that,
We
Armstrong?
cut our audio on a reel-to-reel. We cut our audio on a reel-to-reel, and then we had to go back and splice it where there were mistakes. Can you imagine? It's the same thing as you're doing it inside, but you're doing it digitally. We had to physically have the little white tape that connected the reel-to-reel. It was insane.
Yeah, I mean, somebody would have actually drawn that logo and not had all the mouse and all the effects and all the different things. They would have drawn that logo and colored it in. In a long time, things have changed a lot, and who knows what the next wave will look like. But that's a job well done.
I've thought about this before because I was watching like a making of with my nephew Leo. That we were watching the making of like a Pixar movie, and it was like showing all the depth of computer graphics and the things that they go into. And then I thought about, but also there's a part of it that like if they want to just go to a file and be like, oh hey, here's the old man from Up. They just click the file. If you went back and like pulled like one of Walt Disney's like original animators from like the 1930s, we're like, hey,
you know what they did?
How long did it take you to draw Mickey Mouse? You're like, oh, that's like 6 hours. Like, oh yeah, well here he is.
You know what they did? They had to flip paper.
Yeah.
They had to like flip the paper for it to move.
Yeah.
Think about that. And how cool is it? I don't know this. I should ask perhaps Jovan or Courtney would know this. How they decided to put the 99 but embed it in the net.
I don't know. The guy who did it was Joe Rooster or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who apparently was the one that we were just watching based on what I saw. So, yeah, I don't know. Very creative, though. Very good job on that logo.
Now, Scotty B, Paul, you want to read his on the text line? 254-339-1122. Craig, you got the text line up at all? No. Scotty B, his last one, what does he say here?
The player we were trying to think of who went to Missouri after Baylor, Deuce Bello.
Deuce Bello, who could jump out of the gym.
And then he went to East Tennessee State after.
Thank you very much, Scotty B. I knew if our Wikipedia of Sic'em365.
Thank you, Scotty B. It's been in my head. And the thing is I knew he had a unique name. Like, there's not many people you're going to meet named Deuce Bello.
No.
I knew he had a unique name, and I could not think of it.
No, you're right. You're right. And so a lot of you are saying, hey, don't stop talking about it. And we won't. We will talk about it as long as you want, and that's why the text line's available for you as well at 254-339-1122. Now, we will have Kevin Rogers at 3:30. Jack is here in the studio. Armstrong Sims. Armstrong, give me an update from Augusta National. Last time I saw, Justin Rose had fallen back all the way to 4 under, then it got back to 7 under par. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes. I could look up the leaderboard, but off the top of my head.
I know I'm not asking you about anybody but Jordan Spieth. So if you're paying attention.
Rose is at 7 under. Spieth is in second place at 5 under, along with a couple others. Tony Finau Finau's at 4 under. So is Justin Thomas. Paul, are you looking at the leaderboard?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So Mark Leishman and Jordan Spieth at 5 under in the clubhouse. Bernd Wiesberger.
Who's this Wiesberger? He's obviously from Germany, right?
He, Tony Finau, Justin Thomas, Brian Harmon, and Siwoo Kim are all at 4 under. And then the next wave of people.
Some pretty good names. Well, Cameron Smith and Morikawa done at 2 under.
Yeah.
Matsuyama's dropped to 2 under. He's got 5 or 6 holes left. Schauffele, 2 under. Patrick Reed steady at 2 under. DeChambeau, how about this?
Having a great day at 5 under. So.
He started out, what was he, at 4 over, and he ended up at 1 under, and you knew he was going to make a run. And because Justin Rose faltered, at least early, even though he finished where he started, Paul, he brought everybody back into the tournament because he didn't go out and go 10 under.
Yeah.
He brought everybody within 6 or 8 shots back into the tournament.
Yeah. The cut line now is projected at +3, which means for me to stay alive, I need Daniel Berger to birdie something and do it in a hurry. Well, I mean, he's at 7. So
Dustin Johnson's at 2 over. He was 4 over, so he's kind of struggling. Mickelson made the cut, I believe, at 3 over.
Rory needs to make a move. He's 6 over.
Oh, God. Jimmy Walker looks like he's going to miss the cut. 4 over par. Looks like he probably missed the cut unless it goes up a spot.
Yeah.
But a lot of the favorites, though, right?
You're in trouble. You're done, Smokey.
I've been in trouble with Westwood.
Well, no. Westwood might make a move for you, but Sung J M, 13 over.
That's just, you know what that is?
It's tough.
That's crash and burn right there.
And
it's tough.
And Rob is done as well in the tournament
Cantley.
because he has Patrick Cantley. He is 8 over. So
wow. So Craig, DeChambeau made a move for you. Where's McIlroy?
McIlroy is at 6 over.
Oh, that's not good. Okay,
he's gonna have to.
So it's going to be Armstrong. Are you safe? All your players. We're talking about the players. We took 4 players.
Pretty safe. Yeah.
Paul, you safe?
Well, if Daniel Berger's at +4 right now, so no.
So you might win it without even getting to the
11 holes.
weekend,
Yeah.
Armstrong. Good for you. Okay.
Where's Hovland?
And I know we'll
Hovland's
get updates.
right at 10, and he's right on the cut line right now.
We will get
Above the
updates
cut line.
from Armstrong on Jordan Spieth only for the rest of the show.
He's done for the day, so no more updates.
All right. You know that chipping on 15, if he doesn't make that and hit the pin, it goes in the water. That's gone. Did you know that?
I wasn't thinking that at the time.
No, if you look at the momentum of how hard it hit the stick on that hole where it was, if it goes past the hole 6 to 8 feet, it's going down. It's going down. All right, so there's the update. Coming up, he played and was very good for Baylor. Kevin Rogers, former Scott Drew player, he'll join us next on SicEm365 Radio. Catskin leather. Pickup Outfitters can help change the look inside of your car, inside of your truck, or inside of your SUV with Catskin leather. They're a Catskin leather dealer, and even better, they're also certified to be a Catskin leather installer. And you can get that from Pickup Outfitters, 220 Lake Air Drive. You go to createacommotion.com. Jay Arrett, a Baylor alum. Jay Arrett sent me this note. He said, hey, by the way, there's a process that you can see the video of putting Catskin leather into cars, trucks, and SUVs. If you have seats that are somewhat worn out, like I had that old Tahoe, and my God, it looked like they had been beaten up by maybe raccoons. It was just leather kind of torn here and there because it was so old. If you have a car like that, but it still runs well and you want to change the seats, Catskin leather available. Again, they're certified to do it. At Pickup Outfitters are also certified to be an installer, and there's options and colors if you want as well. Pickup Outfitters also could help you with accessories for your truck or your car or your SUV. Jay Arrett, Baylor alum, his wife Carol, also at 220 Lake Air Drive, createacommotion.com.
How can we help you? That's a question we ask every day at American Bank. Hi, I'm President and CEO Dana Hassel. Our commitment to our customers is what drives us. It's why we've invested in new branch buildings and technology like ITMs that let you speak to a teller face-to-face from your car. It's why we work with local businesses, helping Waco grow and thrive. And it's why decisions about your accounts and loans are made here in Waco by people who know you. How can we help you? Find out at American Bank, member FDIC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Board Certified Personal Injury Trial Lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recalled drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at texastriallawyer.com, principal office in Houston, Texas.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Ram Truck Month means special pricing on the new 2021 Ram trucks at Allen Samuels. The three-peak Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab, has special values up to $5,500 or 0% for 84 months. Allen Samuels, located at 201 West Loop 340 in Waco, Central Texas' new Ram commercial truck headquarters with 3,500 and 5,500 chassis cabs and other great work trucks. Visit Allen Samuels today. It's Ram Truck Month. Come by. Let's be friends. See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Stepping into a new pair of boots is great, but stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can also add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. There are more than 150 occupational specialties to help them find the best fit for their future. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
This segment on Baylor Athletics on SicEm365 Radio is brought to you by Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac, located at the Imperial Drive exit off Loop 340 in Waco. Proud supporters of all Baylor Athletics.
All right, this 3 o'clock hour. Man, the text line is blowing up, and some of you want me to ask Kevin questions, and we will. At _Rog, ROG007, Kevin Rogers. So, Kevin, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Your tweet at 12:06 a.m., at _ROG007. Y'all have to excuse me, man. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that program. The foundation for the man I am today was laid in Waco. People laughed when I committed there, said I made a mistake. This is so damn rewarding with, I think, an unlimited number of exclamation marks. So tell us how you really feel.
Man, I'm extremely happy for, not only the program, those players, but the city of Waco, man. Everybody deserves it. It was just, like I said, it was just such a rewarding feeling, man. Watching those guys go out and compete the way that they did, it made me feel as though I was playing.
Kevin, you were part of that first run of a team that got into the postseason, and that was something that that wasn't that long after Scott Drew took the job, really, when you think about it, that got into the postseason. What was that feeling like when you guys were there and in the postseason?
It was great, man. It was a great experience. Like you said, it wasn't very long after, Coach Drew got the job, and, that was our first season of, real success. So I don't think, we were extremely prepared for it. We were just happy to be in the moment. And, to see the program go to, from that to national champions, man, it's just unbelievable.
I'm going to go ahead and go to a couple of these texts some people ask me about. Can you ask Kevin about switching to the zone? I don't think they went to the zone, I could be wrong, until after the regular season of his senior year. Is that true?
That is true. We actually went to the zone for the conference tournament. I think we had some guys that, had a little, had some nicks and bruises, and, we were just trying to find a way to compete, and the zone worked so well for us, man. We stuck with it, until the NIT championship game, and we had a lot of success with it, and Coach figured out a way to perfect it, and it helped put those guys in a position to win a lot of games.
It worked out for you. You picked it up pretty quick, didn't you, Kevin? It worked out for you pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of guys that had high basketball IQ, and we had a lot of players that could just play the game. So for us to incorporate that, at the end of the year and get some success from it, man, that's just a testament to Coach and the guys that we had.
Kevin Rogers with us, Sic'em365 Radio. Did you ever believe this would happen, that they would actually finally win it all?
I can't say that I envisioned it. I definitely, knew coaches and the staff are great recruiters and, great people. So, I knew they could, that they would get the guys in there to compete. But to win a national championship, man, it's really surreal. You have to have extreme luck, a great group of guys. And, Coach was blessed with that this year, man. Like I said, I felt like I was playing. I was super excited. I was tuned in every single game.
Did you have a favorite player to watch? I mean, there were so many, right? Like you said, I mean, this just team from top to bottom. There is a different guy every game. But did you have a particular player, though, you enjoyed watching?
I think my favorite player, it started out as Jared. I love Jared's game. But as the season progressed, it became Davion. Davion was, I felt like, the heart and soul of the team, man. He could do a little bit of everything, and he was such a matchup nightmare for anybody, and harassing guys 94 feet, man. So Davion Mitchell for sure.
So what if you had to guard him?
Oh man, I would be in a lot of trouble.
I love the honesty. Sure. I asked Coach Tang, I said, give me one of your favorite moments about Kevin Rogers. He brought up a 20-rebound game against Nebraska during the Big 12 tournament. 20 that's a ton, man. That's a bucket load of boards.
Yeah, that was that's what we needed that day. It was the first game of the Big 12 tournament, and we were just looking for a win. And I remember Coach Tang actually, talking to me during that game and just asking me to, go out and get every rebound I possibly could. And, like I said, that was my assignment, and I went out there and I tried to do what I could do. And, luckily I looked up and I was able to get 20 of them. And I didn't even know, but I was told I rebounded Nebraska by myself.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's almost what they did to Gonzaga.
Yeah, almost.
22, yeah.
Kevin, you mentioned in your tweet that people told you shouldn't go to Baylor because, again, at the time it was, at the bottom of the, they're just starting to build the little bricks of the foundation of what it's now become. But what was your Scott Drew recruiting story that made you decide, no, this is where I need to be?
I would say the moment that I decided, I actually went down on an unofficial visit for my first visit. and they just made, and actually I brought maybe like 10 to 12 members of my family with me. And they just made everybody feel like, they were welcome. And, that's what we were looking for. I'm a big family guy, really close with my mom. And, that unofficial visit, it just made us feel at home. And, I felt comfortable. My mom felt comfortable, turning over her son to Coach Drew. So that was the moment I was really, really, really intrigued with the program.
Kevin Rogers with us, SicEm365 Radio. You're playing. I asked you last night, because I always do that just in case something changes in a month or a week or 6 months or whatever. And you continue to play at a professional level, and you told me you're still playing. Man, you obviously have the passion for basketball. Tell us where you are now.
Well, due to COVID, I actually took the year off this year, but last year I was playing in the Middle East. I was MVP of the league. Took my team to the Final Four, which was the first time in the history that they've been to the Final Four. So we got a chance to compete for a championship. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pull it out, but yeah, I'm still having a lot of success, man. I've been able to keep my body right, stay in great shape, and been in a great mental space. So yeah, I'll probably end up going back to play this year around August or September. I have a couple offers that I'm looking at, but yeah, I'm still giving it a go, man, and still out here trying to prove some people wrong.
Kevin, what kind of a perspective has life abroad given you on just life in this country and life in general, being able to see different parts of the world? How has that maybe changed your experience or opened your mind?
It's been wonderful, man, just to see how people live in in different scenarios, just being in different cultures and not always waking up to, the same types of things. Like I honestly can say my first time out of the country, it was a total culture shock to me. Not being able to wake up and just regularly cut on the TV and watch Sports Center or, just enjoy, cartoons with my son or, something like that. But just having to adjust and also grow over there. It's been a great experience for me. It's changed a lot. It's opened my mind to a lot, and even now I'm not opposed to even living out of the country.
Bahrain is where you played, right, in the Middle East. Is that correct?
Yes.
23.5 points and 12 rebounds a game. You dominated.
Yeah, I was actually MVP of the league. And,
yeah.
In the playoffs, it went up a little bit more. I think I averaged around 28 and 14. Had a few triple doubles over there. I was just in a great spot, man. I was blessed, and a lot of stuff that I picked up from coach and just playing in different areas, man. It's been a wonderful ride.
When you said in that tweet at the end, this is so damn rewarding, can you try to, I know what you mean, I think it's obvious, but can you try to summarize that yourself?
Like I also said in the tweet, people laugh and question my decision to go to Baylor, because I hate talking about this, but I was, the first big recruit that coach was able to get.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a lot of schools that, that were looking at me and wanted me to come and, offer scholarships. So, at the time it wasn't a popular decision to go to Baylor. And to see, that we were the guys to kind of lay that foundation to help coach build up to this point. It's like I said, it was a rewarding feeling, to see Baylor on top, to come from, the dungeon to, the highest of the high, man. It just made me feel great. And it, it solidified my decision.
That makes me want to follow up with this, if that's okay. You know that when Coach Drew started to get Kevin Rogers and then Curtis Geralds and Epe Udo and Quincy Acey and Tweety Carter and Lace Dunn, that there started to be whispers because Baylor should not be getting athletes like Kevin Rogers and whoever followed him. That make you mad when people thought that Baylor was doing something dirty? Because that was the whispers. And you know what? Scott Drew's squeaky clean. There was a texting thing that kind of got him a little bit. But the NCAA was here for 3 years and found nothing, and yet people hated the fact Baylor was winning. Did that make you mad?
Absolutely. Like the coach is a great guy, and that staff that he puts together, either the original staff that I have and the staff that they have now, those guys are great people, man. And they really make you feel at home. They really make you feel wanted. And that's all you can ask for as a player. They tell you the truth. They never lie to you. They shoot everything straight to you. And to say that, that's just a little bit of jealousy because, like I said, it's not popular to go. It wasn't popular to go to Baylor at the time, I came. And I could, big name guys losing out to a school that, a lot of people probably hadn't heard of, that could bruise some egos.
Do you feel like you set then not only the tone for the program, but you also then opened up the door for elite athletes or basketball players to realize it was a cool place to be?
Oh, man, I would hope so. Like I said, I had a lot of big-time schools, recruiting me. I was, ended up a big-time recruit. So, being the first guy and having, a lot of my Dallas guys follow behind me, I would hope that my decision and, some of my success played into, those guys' decisions. I know for a fact my relationship with Sweetie before he ever, committed and set foot on campus, we had a great relationship and he wanted to come play with me. So I would hope, that my decision played a part in that. I don't want to take all the credit for it, because those guys are great players. And like I said, the staff is, a great staff. But I would hope so.
I had one more text for you, and if you answer it, when was the last time you talked to Henry Dugat?
I spoke to Henry about a month ago. Henry's doing great. I think he is in Ukraine. I think
there's a ton of players that overseas for Baylor, aren't there? A ton of them, like a bunch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of guys are still playing. Man, we were just blessed to have great genetics and great coaching staff, that taught us the way. But yeah, I believe Henry's still I think he's in Ukraine still playing, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you got guys in China, you got guys in the Middle East and Israel and Europe and Portugal, Tweety Carter. Kevin, it's great to hear from you and appreciate you being a part of the show and so glad that this week has been an amazing run, not just for the team that's going to get honored. Have you heard and you've been informed, right, about trying to get down here? Are you going to be able to make the parade?
I will be there Monday. I'm not missing that parade for nobody in the world. I can't wait to be there to support those guys and, show the city of Waco we still love them.
That's awesome. And they love you. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate your time. Congratulations on what you continue to do. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
That's Kevin Rogers, 6'9", power forward, South Oak Cliff. I was going to get into they always ran into like Dallas Lincoln or Fort Worth Dunbar. Back then they always ran the tournament from the region that was in the Dallas. He seems like he's as happy as he could possibly be.
Yeah. Really, really great to hear from K-Raj there. He was, and again, like part of that was their man-to-man just wasn't fitting well together. They had guys, like you said, injured, and like he picked up the zone, they were all having trouble, and it worked out really well.
Here's from the 512. I love you guys. The zone was a 20-point difference against Nebraska in 4 days, and I don't worry. I will be providing man bombs and legal representation to T-Rex's bachelor party.
That's good to know. That's awesome.
So that's good. All right.
Yeah. What's a man bomb?
I don't know.
I'm afraid to ask. I don't know.
But I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah.
Are those shots?
Look, here's the thing. I'll tell you right now, if I'm at a bachelor party, I don't want anything called a man bomb.
Hey, youngins. Hey, you two You two youngins, you guys understand what man bombs are?
I'm trying to Google it right now.
Oh, God, I hope it doesn't come up with a picture.
I can't find anything.
All right, so I'll ask the 512. By the way, Treston Ebner, Juice Johnson, Dennis Johnson met with the media yesterday. Craig Smoak, right here on set, was there, so he had to miss almost most of the 5 o'clock hour. And so we'll hear from running back, and yes, he's back, Treston Ebner. SicEm365 Radio.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street here in Waco. Look, it's the weekend. You know, you want to maybe go get some great craft beer in a place that has a wide selection of it. Maybe you're a beer enthusiast and like to try a variety of stuff. They've got the best variety of craft beer in Waco. They got tons of stuff in their walk-in fridge there, rotated out seasonally. Steve Chapman always sends me a long, long list of different things they have and whatever it is, man. It was really interesting to see all the different things that they had to rotate out and the work that goes into it. And look, you would think the staff would get lost in that. They don't. That's a fantastic staff there that knows everything about everything that's in their store, where it is. I was in there one time and I was looking for something that was literally at my feet. And they said, "What are you looking for?" And I said, "Oh, I'm looking for this." And they said, "Look down at your feet." Boom, right there. I mean, and they're 10 feet away, knew exactly where I was standing, knew exactly where it was. Pretty impressive. They know exactly where on the shelf it is. That's the knowledgeable staff that they have there. Great recommendations, excellent drive-through window, excellent service, excellent products at Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street. Find out more about them on Facebook and Instagram.
1, 2. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Boots add protection. Good boots help you climb better and move forward faster. And when your son or daughter steps into the boots of a U.S. Army officer, they also learn how to lead. In these boots, they'll gain more confidence with expert training in one of more than 150 occupational specialties. In these boots, they'll stand a little taller and lead a team with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise to successfully accomplish whatever challenge comes next. In these boots, they'll earn respect with valuable experience from day one that will give them solid footing for success into the future. Highly qualified candidates who earn a spot on our team can receive comprehensive health care coverage, college tuition assistance, and a bonus of up to $40,000. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like our free First mobile app, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. That's the First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's time to fire up the grill, heat up the oven, or get that deep fryer going to enjoy the top quality products at Waco Custom Marketplace. Order 30-pound sacks of live crawfish by 6 on Wednesday. Pick up on Friday afternoon after 2 or Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. 30-pound sacks of live crawfish available right now for $4.25 a pound. Find all the crawfish boil ingredients you need, including red beef potatoes, sausage, corn cobbettes, and Louisiana boil seasoning. Make your order for live crawfish by Wednesday at 6. Pick up on Friday Saturday after 2 or all day Saturday and enjoy the weekend. Waco Custom Marketplace, your home for fresh baked kolache, cinnamon rolls every day. Butcher shop to cut your steaks the way you want. Fresh seafood, summer sausage, boudin, house-cured and smoked bacon, spices, seasonings, soup mixes, and more, and weekly gift boxes for any occasion. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
This is SicEm365 Radio. Text us at 254-339-1122. The SicEm365 Radio text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
Of the players who had a chance to come back that could have left, Treston Ebner's one of those that decided to stay. John Levitt, one of the running backs a year ago who didn't play a lot the last part of the season, or a lot of the season at all. Treston Ebner last year ended up, this is hard to imagine, with 107 yards rushing.
He didn't have a lot of carries. He didn't have a lot of running back carries.
50 carries for 107 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good.
That's crazy.
That's not good at all, but it's also, I mean, try to think back to last year. How many Treston Ebner carries do you remember?
No. I remember the kick returns, and there was a couple of plays.
Jack said 2.
He made the one winding catch and then went all the way across the other side of the field.
That's a catch, though. I'm talking about just running the football. He didn't do that very often. So, yeah, I mean, it's weird when you look at it in hindsight, but no, he did not have a lot of rushing yards. They didn't have a lot of rushing yards as a team, period. Squirrel Williams was their best running back last year for like a game and a half until he got hurt. And, man, what a difference he made. But, yeah, Treston's, he had some good moments, but just as a whole last year, the offense was a struggle. So that's part of why he's back.
It's crazy to think that he has 891 yards rushing. He has 1,231 yards receiving. Of course, he was an All-American kick returner. Practice, of course, going on tomorrow. The open practice available to the public. They'll open the gates at 10:30 at McLean Stadium. Craig was at practice yesterday. The media session with Treston Ebner, the senior running back.
Well, Treston, why did you decide to come back, and how's it been going out here?
I decided to come back first so I could get my degree. I felt like I should finish that. Last season just left a bad taste in my mouth. Going 2-7. And I feel like we had more to offer than that. Our class coming in had more to offer. We could leave Baylor on a better note. And as far as the decision, I know I made the right decision. I feel great. I love Grimes. I love Aranda. Juice, he had a big impact on me coming back. And I feel like I've just been able to create more bonds.
Coach Aranda said that you're a good fit for the wide zone, like your ability to cut back and stuff. Do you feel like it's a good fit for you, the offense, the style of play and all that?
Yes, sir, I do, because it just allows me to make one cut and get up to the second level and just make my moves off the safety. So I feel like it opens up holes and I can just use my speed to make plays.
What are you seeing from maybe Waylon, Squirrel, some of the younger guys?
Well, I think it was great that they got to get a little play time last year. I think that was good for them. I can just see them guys coming to work every day, improving, pushing me too. We push each other. And even Squirrel's still in his playbook. When we have questions, we can ask him. He knows everything. So I think everybody just come with a be here mindset, and they always locked in and just getting better.
Is Tay another one that's kind of a good fit for this offense?
Yeah, so Tay is explosive and he's big and strong. So, once he make that one cut, he got a lot of strength behind him, so he can run through arm tackles and all that. So I'm really excited to see what he can do.
And Juice mentioned that he said one of your objectives is to prove you're a good in-between tackle. Is that, and maybe did you work some on strength and stuff? I mean, your arms look bigger than my legs. So.
Yeah, sir. I put in a lot of extra work in the weight room this year. I knew the areas I had to improve. We all knew that I could catch out the backfield or whatever, but I want to be an every down back in the league, so I feel like I need to start making those improvements now, so the weight room helps. And just at practice, every day just having it in my mind, I'm going to make one cut and get down here, and it don't matter if anyone's in my way, and just work on pad level and stuff like that.
Treston, can you try and compare the relationships that you guys have with the coaches and just the knowledge y'all have now compared to heading into last season? How different is that for y'all?
Well, first I would like to thank God that we were allowed to get a spring this year. That was unfortunate last year, but I think even just that that helped us talk to the coaches, see the coaches way more, because we were doing everything over via Zoom last year. So now we're face-to-face, we get to work and interact with the coaches. So I think they just help us speed up the process of getting to know Coach Grimes and some of the new coaches that came in, and even building our relationship with our own personal coaches that we had last year.
Do you feel like that's helping you make bigger strides, even just being able to practice in the spring, do everything in person, not over Zoom?
Yes, sir, because it's always that you get to be around your teammates, you get to build that bond. You got new guys coming in, you got guys that's playing a new position, or look to be in a leadership role. When you're over Zoom, you can't really build those bonds with guys. So now we get to see each other, we get to train together and go through adversity together. So I feel like all that helps just being in person.
What's the energy been like, just every day when you're out there?
I think it's been great. You see the defense and the offense competing. Whoever makes a big play, we let each other know about it. So that's always fun. We can compete with each other. And I just see guys at their position pushing guys in front of them or behind them, and everybody's just trying to get better. So it's a great sight to see.
You've had, the same quarterback for the last 3 years. What's it like to see this quarterback competition, and is that bringing a level of excitement to things?
I love Charlie, by the way, but but it's great. I think it's great, because you can see all the guys just making big plays. I think it's a really great competition, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top, because I see all the hard work they all put in. But the best thing about it to me is I see them cheering for each other more than anybody. Zeno makes a good play, Gary or Blake or Kyron are cheering for him. So I love to see that.
Treston Ebner, I would say he is he the number one weapon returning for Baylor? R.J. Sneed, obviously, and others might be a part of it.
R.J. is not a playmaker like Ebner.
But Ebner's a guy that can do it in different ways, right?
With Squirrel hurt, yeah. And if Squirrel was healthy, then maybe there'd be a little bit of discussion. But Ebner does have, more prototypical size. Squirrel's probably a little bit faster, but yeah, Treston's going to be a go-to guy for them this year. There's no doubt about it.
When we come back, Jared Sandler, the Rangers are off to a fairly reasonable start considering who they are and what they might end up with. He'll tell us about the Rangers as they open up a home series, I think, against San Diego as well. This is SicEm365 Radio. Premium quality MRIs, that's what you get. Convenient, affordable, and that's ideal at Ideal MRI. In the Central Texas marketplace, just off of I-35 in the southern part of Waco, right there on the access road that takes you west on Loop 340 and Highway 6. An average MRI, the average cost of an MRI is $1,100. So why would you ever go anywhere else? If you can, go to Ideal MRI, because it's always $497 or less. Now, if it's an average of $1,100, then there are some that are $1,800, maybe $2,200. I don't know. And yes, there might be some slightly below $500, but not every time. And that's the rarity, because the average is $1,100 for an MRI. And Ideal MRI in Waco, in the Central Texas marketplace, can help you. So if you have a doctor that suggests they need to find something else that's going on with your muscle or ligament, something that hurts painfully, IdealMRI.com. Dr. Rob Maxey, when I took my MRI back in March on my left shoulder, he contacted me that evening. He called me and said, hey, I'm sending you some videos, some attachments. And he showed me what they saw. I sent that to my orthopedic surgeon, Dr. David Haynes, at Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and he could see exactly what he pretty much knew anyway. But that's why you had to have it, just to confirm what might be the problem, what hurts, what's so painful. And Ideal MRI, every single time at $497 or less at IdealMRI.com.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks man, he has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
If you or a loved one or friend has been arrested and you can't afford bail, trust Terry and Chase Chapman at Chapman's Bail Bonds, covering Waco and McLennan County for over 25 years. Chapman's can bail you out anywhere with experienced, knowledgeable local agents who are committed to serving you professionally, respectfully, and with the highest integrity. Chapman's understands your privacy is important. Your freedom can be secured fast when you use Chapman's Bail Bonds. Open 24 hours a day. Payment arrangements available. Call Chapman's Bail Bonds. When you need help, 254-754-1603. When you ring, we'll spring.
It was broad daylight. I stepped into a gas station for 5 minutes to grab a snack, and just like that, my car was broken into. They made out like a bandit. My laptop, my phone, everything. I called my agent to see what could be done, and he restored my faith in humanity. My claim was processed so quickly, and I was able to recover my losses.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Listen, in the past couple of years, we've had a lot of people moving in from out of state to Waco thanks to Chipper and JoJo. And while we welcome these new citizens, they unfortunately brought some of their bad habits with them. Hi, Jay here from Pickup Outfitters, and you know what I'm talking about. Naked trucks. You'd think everyone moved here from McNewtville, but we shouldn't judge them, we should help them. For example, when you see a recent transplant truck from a less civilized state like California, instead of saying, "Your truck is disgusting, your bed is exposed, get a bed cover on that truck, buddy," that's a bit harsh. Instead, try something like, "You know, in Texas, it's not polite to drive around with your bed exposed. Maybe you should check out the excellent selection of bed covers at Pickup Outfitters." And then if they refuse, you can say, "Well, I hear New Mexico's a nice state." Let's help our new neighbors and let them know that truck nudity is not okay. Let them know about Pickup Outfitters of Waco and send them to our website, createacommotion.com.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
Clean up today, and he hammers this ball down the left field line. Gone! A rocket down the line for Solak, and the Rangers start to score this afternoon. It's 1-0.
The 4 o'clock hour is sponsored by Boozer's Jewelers, the wedding ring store, specializing in custom jewelry and repair, all in-house.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
I think I was the only one in America who said at the end of the first week of the season, the Rangers would be around 500. None of you said that. I said it. And you know what's interesting? I know that they're going to eventually drown in the American League West with Houston and whoever else, but there's a little bit of spark, and I know that this is going to be an uphill climb. Jared Sandler joins us on SicEm365 Radio, and this, of course, is the 4 o'clock hour. Jared, who is this Lowe guy? He's pretty good. He used to be a high prospect, correct? Is he giving the Rangers a little jolt on offense?
Yeah, well, let me first tell you, Smokey, if I was Adam Sandler, I don't think I'd be on the phone right now. I'd be on some resort island just relaxing and not talking to anybody. But, yeah, you know, so the best way I can describe Nate Lowe and who he is and what he is and maybe what he can be is if you look at the package the Rangers gave up for Nate Lowe and understanding that, you know, not every time does a trade involve a commensurate package for a particular player, but they didn't just, it wasn't like a player to be named later type of deal, right? Like they didn't just throw in a random prospect they don't really care too much about to get Nate Lowe. So that tells you that, they believe that there was something there, and you referenced, they obviously this guy didn't just come out of nowhere. They also didn't give up the farm for Nate Lowe, so it's not like they look at him and say, this guy is definitely our first baseman of the future. But what I would say is they gave up enough to where their mindset was, hey, I think this guy could be our first baseman for the next few years. But, they weren't pot committed on it. So who is Nate Lowe? He is, as you mentioned, a guy who was at one point thought really highly of within the Rays organization. They do such a great job of amassing talent in that organization that sometimes there are guys who are odd men out, and Nate Lowe's not someone who can play 17 different positions, and they essentially chose some other guys over him. And, that's not to say that they are going to be right on who ends up being the best of the bunch, but their evaluations led them to believe that some of their other options were worth keeping. And so the Rangers get a guy who I would say doesn't have one elite or great skill, but has a lot of really good foundational hitting skills. And I think, a lot of people like to hear the answer to this question in numbers. I think this is a guy who could hit 250, 260 with 20 to 25 home runs. And that's not a bad player at all. I will say one area that needs to change, if there is one from his great start, 9 strikeouts and 1 walk. And it's tough to sustain success when you have a strikeout to walk ratio of 9-1. So hopefully that's just more a reflection of an incredibly small sample size, and we start to see that those numbers maybe get back to where they need to be.
Jared, you look at this roster, and once the Odor decision was made, and he was no longer on the team, it really kind of hits you that when Joey Gallo was your longest tenured player, this really is a new look team, because even though we've been talking about Joey Gallo for a long time, he hasn't really been a fixture of the lineup for all that long compared to what's been moved off the roster this year. How long do you think it's going to take them to really find the identity of what this team is now?
Are you talking about just for this year?
Yeah.
Well, I think they know what their identity is, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be their identity, right? I think they want their identity, unlike past years where it was very much a home run or really not a whole lot else cooking type of offense. And last year they didn't hit a lot of home runs, so they really didn't have a whole lot cooking last year. I think and it's been evident through 6 games, this is a team that's going to be a lot better with 2 strikes. They've been one of the better 2-strike hitting teams in the league. This is a team that, there's a statistic out there that's a little bit of a misnomer. The Rangers swing at the fewest pitches in the zone amongst teams, and not just the American League, but the major leagues. But then when you really look at that granularly, they actually swing at a ton of pitches that are, over the middle of the plate. They don't swing at pitches with less than 2 strikes on the perimeter of the zone. And that is probably an indication. And again, all this is small sample size, but through 6 games, that's a pretty sound approach. What that's telling you is they're not swinging at pitchers' pitches before they need to, with 2 strikes, so they don't just go down with the bat on their shoulders. So I think this is a team that they're going to be way scrappier offensively, if there's a word that maybe best characterizes it, than years past. They're going to steal a lot of bases. They're already tied for the major league lead in that department, and they've led the majors over the last 2 years in the Chris Woodward era at stolen bases. They've got an athletic lineup. I don't think this is a lineup that's going to scare anyone. No one's going to look at any particular stretch and be like, oh my gosh, if we can just get through 2, 3, and 4, 3, 4, and 5, then we can breathe. But I think it's a lineup that, hopefully has a little more balance to it. And they're not going to be easy outs like they've been in the past. This lineup in past years, really, if you talk to opposing pitchers, opposing pitching coaches, opposing managers, even when there was maybe more brand name talent in the lineup, it was not a lineup that anyone feared. And I don't think anyone's going to fear this lineup, but I think this lineup is going to present more challenges because they're going to be pickier, stingier, and they're not just going to be automatic outs once 2 strikes get on the board.
Jared, what did you think of Kyle Gibson's follow-up performance from that rocky opening day, and just what have you seen from this pitching staff at this point?
Well, their rotation, if you take out Kyle Gibson's opening day start, the rotation's been really good. They're walking less than 2 per 9. They're striking out more than 10 per 9. And the tandem setup first time through seemed to work just fine as well. I think Kyle Gibson is such a key, and he's not as much a key right now as he will be in July, August, September. And, I said before his opening day start, hey, this is going to be a much better Kyle Gibson this year. And then he goes and he gets 1 out, which isn't not too good for those scoring at home. But I don't think that what he did the other day is necessarily a representation of what he's going to be every 5 days. But the reality is this. He is the only known commodity in this rotation who has the ability to get to 175 innings. Mike Foltynewicz, he was an all-star a few years ago, but he barely pitched it all last year. And there were some physical issues with him. Kohei Arihara could give you innings. We just don't know. I mean, he's not a known commodity. He obviously starts tonight against San Diego. And then you got the young guys. And so it's important that Kyle Gibson is good. He doesn't need to be great, but he needs to be good because he can be a stabilizing presence once every 5 days in this rotation. And what we saw the other day, I think, was just a guy who was able to use really 4 and kind of 5 pitches really well. Early on, he was very sinker-slider heavy. And then we saw him utilize the curveball, which is not a pitch he throws very often, to get a few big outs, the cutter, which he worked on this spring, and then the changeup. It was a very veteran approach. He mixed his stuff up. There weren't really patterns, consistently throughout his 6 innings. And this is more the guy that Minnesota Twins fans saw, not the guy Rangers fans saw last year. The guy who probably, whether he will admit it or not, was not physically in peak form with all of the challenges he had with ulcerative colitis and the 8 to 10 months leading up to the season.
So for the Rangers, because they don't have a lot and they're trying to kind of overhaul this thing, they need some prospects to hit. And Leota Taveras obviously is a good prospect, a really good-looking 6'2", angular center fielder, but he's overmatched, and I'm sure people expected that as well. What is the fine line with how long you go with him? Because he needs the opportunities, and yet right now it does appear as if he's overmatched.
Yeah, through 1 week, not a good sign, right? And I don't think, to your point, you kind of mentioned this, I don't think anyone expected him to come out and set the world on fire. I mean, the reality is what he gave the Rangers last year was maybe a little bit of a mirage, because guys who are 21, 22 years old with, 200 or so at bats above A-ball tend to have a little bit of a learning curve. And he wasn't great last year, but a guy with a 700 OPS at 21 with limited AA plus experience, a little bit of a surprise. He looks more like the guy that maybe we should have expected or we should have gotten last year. Someone who, now that people know a little bit more about him, he's having a really tough time with breaking balls. I mean, he broke his bat on a curveball the other day. It ended up being the game-winning hit, but it's not a good sign when a guy's breaking his bat, getting jammed on a curveball. So I think you give him maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. You don't want the guy to drown. He doesn't need to even be a league average hitter, but you need to see a guy who's competing and not, as you mentioned, overmatched. And right now he appears to be that. So I think that if it goes on like this for another week, 2 weeks, you probably see Leote get sent to the alternate site and then ultimately double or triple A when the season starts. And then you're likely going to see him back here, hopefully, by mid-June, because they are committed to giving him a ton of experience. And the last thing I'd say on this, I don't think it's a bad thing that he's struggling, because he's not Mike Trout. He's not Juan Soto. He's not Ronald Acuna Jr. No one is mistaking Leote Taveras for one of baseball's next superstars and one of these guys who, they're just able to come up at a super young age and take over the league. He is a guy who can be a really, really valuable player on a team because of his center field defense, and someone who maybe, if everything works out, is a top of the order hitter. But I think at minimum, the hope is that he's a Jackie Bradley Jr., someone who's inconsistent offensively, but can be can be a contributor offensively at times, but is just a lights-out center fielder. For that particular type of player at 22 years old with, as I mentioned earlier, very limited experience above A-ball to struggle at the big league level is not really a big surprise, nor should it be a big concern. A lot of 22-year-olds are either in college, they're not, even at Double-A. If they are at Double-A, that's kind of the only place they've been. There are very few 22-year-olds who are at the big league level playing on an everyday basis, having the type of success we'd like to see from Leody Taveras. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a week or two there's a change of scenery if he doesn't show that he can kind of compete a little bit better in the box.
So if he goes down, what does that do shuffling the outfield?
Well, so you probably, I guess it depends on who they bring up and what their approach is. My guess is if the move happened today, Adolis Garcia would be the guy who'd come up. He's not a center fielder, so that means hopefully Eli White will be playing well enough to where you're excited about Eli getting everyday center field reps. If something changes there, I don't know if they're ready for David Dahl to be an everyday center fielder. If that's an option, they could consider Delino DeShields, but I would think Eli White in center, Dahl in left, and Dahl in right. And then, at that point, probably sooner, Willie Calhoun will be up. So, he's going to get a lot of opportunity as the DH. So that's probably what it would be. I think they're intrigued by Eli White. I don't think they obviously view Eli White as someone with the type of upside that Leody Taveras has. But I think they're curious what Eli White's got. Is this a guy who can be a platoon starting outfielder? Is he a fourth outfielder? Can he be an everyday outfielder? They feel like he's made significant changes offensively, which would at least give you hope that maybe what he's done in the past is not a total indicator of what's to come in the future. So that would probably be the short-term solution. But I don't think if Leody goes down, he's going to be down for a super long time. And it's going to be up to him. He's obviously got to earn his way back, but I think they're going to be looking for plenty of opportunities and reasons for him to get his bat back to the big league level.
Jared, as always, thanks for your time. I know you got a busy schedule, Rangers and Padres, with what you do with the pre and post and also at times with the broadcast as well. Thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
He is one of the best, and we knew Jared back before he became
almost Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I mean, in your mind.
Well, that was, I saw Jack being nice to me. It's a Friday. It's the first Friday after the national championship, right?
And that made you think of Adam Sandler?
Yeah, and it made me think of Adam Sandler. Well, it's golf.
You know why I did? I'm going to tell you why I did. It's the Masters. Siwoo Kim broke a putter. Happy Gilmore. That's Adam Sandler. There
I'm trying to find the video of Siwoo Kim. You showed it to me, but I'm watching his highlights, and
you're probably not going to find it on the Masters website, I would think.
No. They have every shot that he's.
It wasn't a shot though. It was just him standing. Yeah.
It was on 14, I believe. But
I have it here. Hold on.
Do you really? Okay. I'm trying to figure out what hole it is. It looks like it's on 15.
It's on 15 or 14.
But it doesn't show. It shows him putting with the 3-wood after he chipped on.
After whatever he putted with for the 3-wood for the first time was at 15.
Yeah.
So at 14 he 3-putted and he got mad.
Yeah, he bogeyed 14. I'm getting ready to watch it right here. He's a very, very good player. Okay, here we go.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh yeah.
No. Here's gonna slam it right here.
Man, that's a temper tantrum
that's
right
what
there.
Broke it, and then now he's putting with his 3-wood.
Yeah, and he realizes he's like, dang, did they just see me break this stupid?
Hey, there will be a guy that comes in.
He will have a discussion.
With a very, listen, Mr. Kim, at Augusta National Golf Course, we behave in such a manner that does not illuminate our anger.
Yep.
In spite of the pratfalls of the course. So please, sir, refrain from expressing your anger in such a manner
in front of the patrons
as the tournament continues.
Yeah, that he will be brought into a room and he will be drilled for that. Exactly. Did you good at that, by the way.
Abraham Answer, was it, who got a 2-stroke penalty?
Yes,
last night
on the bunker.
Because he grazed the sand.
Yeah, and he did. And you know that I've always known that's a penalty. You're not supposed to ground your club in the sand.
It was so added later because someone saw it on TV and sent it in.
Yeah. Who has to be that person that is on TV watching from some probably like we are, the flat screen. Oh, my God. Like, remember when Craig Stadler put the towel under his knees to hit a shot under the tree to punch it out, and somebody called the tournament and said, you're not allowed to do that.
This guy says I saw Abraham Ancer touch the sand live. I immediately called the police. Never have I seen such blatant disregard for the sanctity of this great event.
Abraham Ancer did get on Twitter last night and discuss that, and he said that although he's basically gutted that he will take, his penalty. Now, if it had been Patrick Reed, he would have argued it for, he wouldn't have turned himself in. He wouldn't have taken it.
He wouldn't have.
I got to think, though, it's just one of those are people. I don't want to say this for sure.
5 over.
I know. Armstrong's going to win this thing going away.
That would be amazing.
If you're a person
Hovland to get it together, though.
who watches a replay of something and has to call it in, I don't know if you've got a whole lot of friends.
I know.
I think that might be part of your problem.
Oh, Hovland is really getting it together.
Yeah.
Just eagled 15, always 1 over. I'm looking good.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka's knees.
Speaking of the Rangers, I saw this. I thought this would make you feel better, all Rangers fans, although they had to try to get something for him. Lance Lynn, who was their best player last year, is that right, Paul? Mm-hmm. He had the Major League Baseball's first complete game shutout Thursday, recording 11 strikeouts and shut out the Royals 6-0. Making his second start since arriving in Chicago via the trade from the Rangers, he's allowed 5 hits, no walks, 111 pitches, 79 for strikes. First pitcher in American League history to throw a shutout with 10-plus strikeouts and no walks in the team's home opener.
You know what I like about Lance?
How do they know that?
You know what I like about Lance Lynn? And I always liked about him is that he's one of the best pitchers in the league, but he looks like he works out like a normal person. Not like he looks like he works out, but he doesn't look like he works out like a, he just looks like a normal dude who's big and throws fastball.
Like Nolan Ryan?
Yeah.
Kind of like Nolan Ryan wasn't an impressive looking athlete in any way.
No,
he was stronger in a wiry way, but you're at times you wondered, but he was wiry strong, and you're right. That's Robin Ventura.
Lance Lynn's a guy who works out but won't say no to a cheeseburger.
No,
that's
good
him.
for him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, it's 4:25, Craig. Okay, I thought you were raising your hand. Do you know the official that fell down and collapsed during the NCAA tournament? Greg Doyle, who I do enjoy, he's a great writer. I don't always enjoy some of his edge of not letting things go. Wrote an article in the Indianapolis Star that when the official, Bert Smith, collapsed, they found out that he had a blood clot in his lung. And so the blood clot that forced him to collapse, obviously, probably saved his life. Mm-hmm. It puts in perspective the value of each day because we all go through our lives. We're all guilty of it. We just live but do we say I love you enough? Do we give enough? So he talks about him collapsing in that game is how they found out he had a blood clot in his lung.
I mean, good. I'm glad, in a weird way that it happened. That's great that saved his life. And yeah, everybody has that traumatic event, and then they talk about, well, we don't say hello to, we do that, and then, forget about it a week later, and then, something else tragic happens, and say, hey, why don't we talk to people more? And, if everybody just realized it the first time around and didn't, just get back to normal life, then we wouldn't have to do that every time tragedy strikes. But, yeah, I mean, in his case, I'm sure he feels very fortunate, and that's great they were able to save his life.
Yesterday at Augusta National after the first round, you heard names like Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Why?
I don't know. Was Evander there?
Sergio Garcia, I just came out of the ring with Evander Holyfield, like a 12-round match. That's what he felt like after the round. Meanwhile, there was one other player, Gary Woodland.
Do you feel like he got his ear bit off?
I just got out of the ring with Mike Tyson or somebody. It was brutal out here. Brooks Koepka, who he will never hold back. It can get pretty dicey out here if you put in the wrong spot the way these greens are. It's kind of a little bit of a dig. Mm-hmm. Maybe late Saturday afternoon you'll see them firm. Monday it kind of looked like what it does normally on a Saturday, late Saturday afternoon. There's not much grass on a couple of these greens. On the back of number 6, there's no grass. And 9, I don't know if there's any grass. But I don't think grass is going to grow on number 9 overnight, even if they were to water it.
Mr. Koepka, we take painstaking measures for our grass at Augusta National.
It is the brownest, the most brown I've ever seen.
I bet you. I'm telling you, Craig was on it. Like they had a freeze a month ago.
No, I
just
agree.
like we did. You know, they don't. I mean, and not a freeze for a couple days.
Did you not know the bubble was invented over Augusta National?
Yeah, no, they're very powerful and wealthy, but some things you just can't stop.
No, you Mother Nature, right?
Yeah, I mean,
two things: Mother Nature and Father Time. They win everything. They're undefeated.
We make fun of Texas gets made fun of because of how bad we handle winter. Remember a few years ago in Atlanta, they had an inch of ice and like people abandoned their cars on the interstate.
Yeah, I know. All right, thanks to Jared Sander also for helping us kind of update on that. I didn't know I did not know the over/under on the first time we'd have a Rangers analyst or someone to talk about the Rangers. I didn't know if we'd have anybody at all this year. And we got him, 3-3 start, their magic number. If the Astros collapse, is not far away, right? When we come back, we continue with this SicEm365 Radio. Craig, again, was at practice. We heard from senior running back Treston Ebner. We're going to hear from Juice Johnson. I'm looking forward to hearing from Katie Stager-Smith, volleyball expert for Baylor, as they enter the tournament. There's a lot of things being said about how the NCAA has set up the volleyball championship. She'll be at 4:45. NFL Draft with Eric Galko at 5. And Art Strickland again from Augusta National today live at 5:30. SicEm365 Radio. Petty Clinic, lowt.com. Dr. Kent Petty can help you become the high-performance man that you want to be. How do you do that? You call them, contact them, get online, Petty Clinic, lowt.com. Their number's there, and you could also contact them through the website. And here's the deal. As you get older, I just mentioned there's two things that are undefeated. There might be 3 or 4, but one of them is Father Time. And Father Time, as your body gets older, things, sometimes they can get better, but a lot of times they start to slow down. Your levels of testosterone drop if you're a man. 1 out of every 3 men have some symptoms of low testosterone. Symptoms that could be being lethargic, your energy's not quite what it used to be. It could be even something that is your sex drive or ED. It could also be your focus, your sleeping habits. So Dr. Petty will get you set up with lab work, get your blood tested. He'll get the levels, he'll get the results, he'll get the lab work, and then look at your testosterone levels. He'll also check for PSA, which is huge with prostate cancer. He'll also check other levels, cholesterol, and much more. But look at your testosterone levels, and if they are too low, he will put you in a program or give you the option to be in a program to increase your testosterone levels so you can be the high-performance man you want to be, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 symptoms. So why not, right? Dr. Kent Petty. Petty Clinic, lowt.com.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? by not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference, and that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new Lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
It's a name and a memory that called us back. It's a belief and a labor that will carry us forward. It's a time and experience that will make you return. The new Bear Ridge Golf Club, a space revitalized, a course restored, a new experience. For a tee time today, call the Pro Shop at 254-848-7800. Go to BearRidgeWaco.com, just south of Waco on Highway 84. Come join us at Bear Ridge Golf Club.
At Marco's Pizza, get craveable pizza made the Italian way with dough made from scratch, an original sauce recipe, 3 fresh signature cheeses, and premium toppings you love, served hot and safe. Right now, you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Why stop at just one? Order with your app or at marcos.com for curbside, carryout, or delivery today. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. Are you a SicEm365 superfan? Then try out our premium subscriptions at SicEm365.com.
All right, here we go. Practice tomorrow. If you had not heard, Baylor will open up McLean Stadium, the gates at 10:30 tomorrow morning. There will be an open practice for fans to come watch at McLean Stadium. And we will be there, of course, with different angles of what we see and also what we are able to get for you. Also, yesterday after practice, Craig, you heard from Treston Ebner. Dennis Johnson was one of the coaches available, the defensive line coach, but so was running backs coach Juice Johnson.
Well, Justin, what's the running back group look like? How are they coming along?
They're coming along good. I think everybody is doing a great job of competing. I think we got great competition there. Everybody's approaching it the right way. A lot of stuff still left to clean up, but I think the approach has been right. Great energy, great edge. Working on constantly cleaning up execution, but I think everybody's mental space to work and to get there is in the right place.
Coach, you obviously had that tough situation last year where it just seemed like everybody was going down. But in a way, does that help you going into this year with so many guys with some experience and guys that have played?
I think so. I think, we always preach next man up mentality. Right. And so we're always preparing as the starter. So when a guy goes down, the next guy's job is to be prepared to step into that role and be ready to roll. And so I think it did create some depth, and it just kept guys on their toes of having to prepare like they were the starter and step in that role and perform the way they needed to.
How much more comfortable do you feel now, not only just with the players and everything, but also just your surroundings being a year in?
Yeah, obviously anytime you get time somewhere, right, you start getting a little more comfortable. We obviously are blessed to have this spring to be able to install. So, I think that factors in. I think that everybody is comfortable. We're all gelling, getting to know each other, installing the offense. So anytime you can get around guys and just spend time, I think it always benefits you.
What's the biggest area you've seen growth in the running back room in since the Oklahoma State game ended?
I think just the approach and the mentality. You know, we want to be the most physical group on the field. We want to run with passion. We want to bring energy in everything that we do. And so the approach, you have to have the right approach when you're doing that. And so I think the approach just in the daily work, I think they're attacking it the right way. And that's the main coaching point, just bringing that energy, bringing that edge, and then playing physical. So I think we're playing with the right mentality so far. We're getting there.
What's maybe one of the biggest things that you hope to accomplish this spring with your group?
Just making sure that we're reliable. Everybody knows where to line up, knows what the assignment it is, and then the detail and how we're going to execute the assignment. So just want a clean execution. Clean execution would be probably the thing I like to see most.
Jason, what did it mean to have Preston decide to come back?
Yeah, I think that was huge for the group. It was huge for the team, and it was huge for him, quite honestly. I think he made a great decision. I think he felt like he still had some stuff left out there to prove. And so anytime you get a player like that willing to come back, that's a testament to Coach Aranda and the program of him just wanting to be around it. I think he understands that things are going in the right direction, and so he's been approaching it the right way. So yeah, truly blessed to have him and the rest of the guys that are back as well to create some depth and some competition at the spot.
Dave said, I think it was Dave that said it, that he seems like he's a good fit for the wide zone, just the way he's able to cut back and stuff. Have you seen that from him? Is he a good fit for this offense?
Yes, he is. He is a good fit. His skill set fits this offense. He's a slasher. He's a stretch. And, wants to play on the edges. A big thing for him is, he also wants to prove that he can run the ball in between the tackles and be, an every down back, a back that can run it in there on 3rd and 1 if we need him to do so. And so I think that's another element of his game he's looking to improve. And so he's coming to approach it that way every day. But his skill set definitely does fit the wide zone.
What about the younger guys? What are you seeing from them?
Just the approach. Like I said, the approach and how they're coming to compete. And so, the energy that they bring every day, I'm just making sure that they understand, the expectation. I think the older guys are doing a great job of setting the expectation for the group and then making sure that they meet the standard.
What's it been like getting to learn Coach Grimes' offense, and where do you see the running backs fitting in and it favoring them?
Yeah, I think it's truly been a blessing for me. It's a different style than what I've been accustomed to, so I get to learn as well. Great offense, attacking, multiple formation. It's truly been a blessing for me to learn it, and I think it's going to benefit a lot of the skill set of the backs we have. Creates wide lanes, allows guys to set line of forces and run off the ball, and so I'm excited to see it in action. We've had some practices here, some thuds. We got a scrimmage coming up, so I'm excited to see it in action. It just allows guys to play free and physical. Yeah.
Is Squirrel doing anything yet, or is he still?
Yeah, he's coming along just how he's supposed to be coming along. He's following, what they recommend him, so he's on course.
What did you see from Quaylen last year? He played really well at the end of the year.
Yeah, just understanding that Quaylen, up until that point, hadn't had a lot of reps. Sometimes I too forget that he hadn't had a lot of reps and been asked to play a lot of football. So still as a young guy, still kind of learning the position, understanding the power that he possesses and the way that he needs to run, not only with his demeanor, but with his approach and every time he touches the ball about, what he can do to a defense. And so I think he's approaching it with the right mentality with who he is of being that power back, a guy that can go get you 2 hard yards. But Quaylen also has the skill set to, break a 40, 50-yard run as well. And so he's coming along how he needs to.
That's Juice Johnson, running backs coach Justin Johnson for Baylor. Tomorrow, practice at McLean. Gates open at 10:30 at McLean Stadium, football practice. Fans can go watch. Gates at 10:30, same thing next Saturday. Then 2 weeks from now, of course, the spring game. When we come back, we'll hear from Katie Stager-Smith, Baylor volleyball entering the NCAA National Tournament. Her thoughts on where they are and who's in that region, and what is going on with where they're playing the tournament, and is the surface safe, and much more. SicEm365 Radio. Waco Custom Meats. If you ordered your live crawfish by Wednesday of this week at 6 o'clock, guess what you had? A chance today after 2 o'clock or tomorrow, anytime to go by and pick up those 30-pound sacks of live crawfish for $4.25 a pound. You can also, if you want, all the way through tomorrow, Regular lump crab meat, $13.50 a pound. How about boneless pork chops for $1.79 a pound and a 10-pound case of frozen hamburger patties? If you're going to have some sort of a get-together on the back porch at maybe even a picnic somewhere, $35.90 for that 10-pound case of frozen hamburger patties. Tri-tip, $4.50 a pound, and choice beef fillets at $15.99 a pound. That's where I get my steaks cut, whether they're huge, almost like an inch and a half, inch and a quarter thick bone-in ribeyes. Also, they're bacon-wrapped fillets that are this thick. They're fantastic. Brian Bauer and the Bauer family with what they do has been phenomenal at 425 Lake Erie Drive. Fresh baked bread and kolaches every morning with their bakery. And fresh cut, whatever you want, customized orders with pork, poultry, beef, and seafood. At Waco Custom Marketplace, I'm telling you right now, the Norwegian salmon, and I'm not a big fish eater. I love shrimp and I love lobster and maybe even some deep fried catfish on occasion, but their salmon, their Norwegian salmon is absolutely delicious. 425 Lake Erie Drive in Waco.
The Jeep Celebration event at Allen Samuels has special pricing on the new 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude with total values up to $5,250 or 0% for 84 months. Or a special deal on a new 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited with total values of $7,000 or 0% for 72 months. It's the Jeep Celebration event at Allen Samuels, the best place to find your new vehicle. Located at 201 West Loop 340 in Waco.
Come by. Let's be friends.
See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness was built to help give you a chance to enjoy elite tennis facilities and also remain fit or reshape your body. Now Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has gone through its own physical changes. There are 7 large flat screens stretched across the main and improved weight room with Wi-Fi available and their own app to enjoy news, business, weather, or sports channels. The beautiful sound of active treadmills and elliptical machines, group exercise classes throughout each day, a new ballet bar for bar classes, a new look lounge and bar with beer and wine with more large flat screens available. Touchless water fountains outside each spacious men's and women's locker rooms, showers, sauna, and whirlpool. Upgraded PA system throughout the world-class tennis courts and lessons for adults and juniors. I promise you'll look and feel better. You just need to walk through the front door. Also, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. So start today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lakeshore Drive in Waco.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don's Humidor in the Townwood Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
The Sic'em365 Radio app is sponsored by Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Your friend in the car business at Loop 340 and east of 84. Come by. Let's be friends.
All right, 447. We'll have Katie Stager-Smith, former Baylor All-American, also now analyst for Baylor volleyball, as they are on the edge of opening up, of course, the NCAA tournament. But there's a lot of other discussion. You know, you heard about what the women's basketball tournament and maybe some of the amenities or whatever it might have been. Well, the volleyball tournament is about to start, and there's a little bit of concern about where they're playing, how they're playing, or whatever. We're now joined by Katie Stager-Smith. She, of course, a volleyball All-American. Basketball, sorry, Katie, is on our mind after the – what was your thoughts about Monday, by the way? How cool was that with Baylor men?
It was so cool. We went to Indianapolis Thursday night. Baylor volleyball played against Texas State, so – after that, we headed to Dallas and flew out the next day. So much fun. We're so excited. It's certainly been a busy but fun week in the Baylor Athletic Department.
Well, the NCAA tournament is about to begin, and of course, Baylor's not going to play until they get the winner of University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and Pepperdine on the 15th up in Omaha. But there's a lot of stuff that came out the last couple of days about the tournament, where it's being played, the convention center, and the surface or whatever. How much of that have you kind of been focused on?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting this year. Just, kind of following, men's basketball and women's basketball sort of figured out what this bubble looked like. And then, volleyball was kind of seeing how that went, seeing what it looked like. So it seems like all of those types of things have kind of come to fruition like very last second. I think that the NCAA, everyone's just kind of learning as they go. So a lot of those things, I think you just kind of have to be like the student athletes have been all year, right? They just have to be flexible and ready for whatever that kind of change in adversity looks like. Because just everyone's kind of moving as quick as they can to make this thing happen. But I'm really, really excited that they get to have a tournament and that it's so soon.
The cement under the floor was a big deal before, or mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
Does that concern you a little bit?
The cement under the floor, I think there's always kind of, with volleyball, a lot of things I think of are to worry about knees, right? Maybe that's me coming from a background of an ACL injury. So anytime the floor kind of changes, I think that does cause concerns for, coaches, athletic trainers, and things like that. But to me, when you really, really start to worry about that is if the wear and tear of being on it, all the time, right? If that's your practice facility or things like that. So, yeah, I think it's probably depending on kind of different people's thought process on how much of a concern that is. Kind of probably goes back to what their athletic trainer is saying about it.
Katie, this was a few days ago, but obviously volleyball got big news with a couple of players announcing that they will be returning next year with Presley and Sedgwick. I mean, I'm not sure how expected that was with the free year, but obviously can you help explain how massive that news is for this program?
Yeah, it's definitely huge. The video that Baylor creative team put together was really cool. If you guys saw that, of Hannah and Yossi, but I think it just probably one, I think Baylor fans everywhere were celebrating. Two, I think Big 12 college volleyball coaches everywhere were probably like, dang it. They will be back, but it's huge, especially that dynamic of Hannah Sedgwick with Yosiana Presley and just, the chemistry they have in year 4 that we've already gotten to see, and it can only go up from there. So I think it's huge. I think they definitely, have other things that they could have gone and done. Hannah Sedgwick already married, so huge that she's coming back and wants to stay at Baylor to play another year. Yosiana Presley with, goals, dreams to, play professionally and things like that. But I think when you get to play at a place like Baylor, and it just kind of speaks to how much those two have valued their time and experience with the Baylor volleyball program to want to stay another year.
Did the loss to Texas State bother you? Does that halt momentum, although they had lost to Texas the week before? Of course, Texas is fantastic, but they swept Kansas State. They seem to be kind kind of limping to the end. How much did that affect you or bother you?
Yeah, I think anytime you see, a team lose a match and it's because they aren't playing the way that you're used to seeing them play, right? That's never fun. I don't enjoy watching that. I do think that we can learn from losses. I do think there's kind of a silver lining of coming off a game like that. I guarantee you they worked X amount harder in practice these weeks building up to it, because that was kind of the last, bad taste in their mouth, right? That was the most recent thing that they remembered, the most recent game that they played. And so while you do want to be clean and sharp and playing, as good a volleyball as you can going into the tournament, I think sometimes losses like that are good wake-up calls. And just knowing this team, I do expect them to bounce back pretty fast in this tournament. What's
interesting to me is the last poll that came out, Wisconsin's unbeaten, and I think they're the only one. I think Western Kentucky might be unbeaten, but Wisconsin got every single first-place vote.
Yeah.
Is it that lopsided? I know that they've been good, but I mean, they basically, what's unanimous right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in previous years, I haven't seen it be that lopsided. A lot of times there's kind of that front runner. Okay, if they're an unbeaten team, I think it adds to it that they're an unbeaten team with a conference that people value, right? People know that they're not just an unbeaten team that has been playing average opponents. They've been playing, these Minnesotas, these Nebraskas, these teams that are not only high in the tournament, but also, or not only in the tournament, but they're top seeds in the tournament. So I think that carries a huge stake with these votes. But yeah, to your point, it surprised me a little bit that it was that, that there wasn't 2 coaches that kind of said, hey, you know what? I think they should actually be 2 or something like that.
Yeah, so they're in Omaha, and they're the 12th seed overall. They're in the same top of the bracket. In fact, Texas State is going to end up, I think they'll probably play Nebraska if they win their opening round game. But Nebraska's in the top part of the region. And then at the bottom, you've got Texas. It seemed like that the NCAA does that a lot with the Big 12 teams in the same region, whether it's basketball or whatever it might be. But that's a pretty tough draw, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough draw, and I'd say that for both of them. I'd say, for Baylor having to face a Texas like that, but then also for Texas having to face Baylor. I mean, Baylor is a very, based on the record, based on the way the committee saw them being number 12, that is their seed. But I think, any of these coaches would agree, like, that's a tough number 12 seed to face when they went to the Final Four last year. They know what it feels like. They want to go again. So yeah, definitely a tough seed, but at this point in time, anyone going into that match is going to be a good team, but it is kind of interesting with Baylor having that history with Texas.
Katie, what is the difference between UT and Baylor right now?
UT and Baylor right now, I think what we've kind of seen and is just across the board, maybe when we've seen them face off, I would say it looks like consistency. In my opinion, there is nothing that the Texas offense can do that Baylor can't, right? We've seen the Oceana Presleys, the Lauren Harrisons, Karen McGee's. We've seen all those players have incredible nights and hit extremely well offensively, just like, the Logan Egglestons, the Brown Butlers for Texas. I think it's just, right, the ability to bring that every single night. And so I think that's what the excitement of the NCAA tournament is. It's one game at a time, all or nothing in that match, single elimination. So I think that format bodes really well for the way this Baylor team plays, because they can kind of look at one match at a time and show up and bring the heat.
Last year, the 29-2, or the last time they played in the national championship tournament, Final Four lost to Wisconsin. So we'll see what happens. Katie, thank you so much for the insight. And, we'll see what happens.
Showtime, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the game starting. But good talking with you guys always.
Katie, thank you so much. Katie Steger-Smith, have enjoyed that segment. Hopefully, maybe there'll be another week. They do play next week to the winner of University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and
Pepperdine.
Pepperdine's all up in Omaha.
Pepperdine as a university has had some good luck in Omaha, Nebraska in the past.
Yeah, baseball. Yeah.
They have that. I mean, that's what you would think of as a volleyball school too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, out in California, in the West Coast, probably play a lot out there in California. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. You know, with what the men did, and you know, the women before that UConn finish, that would have really been great to see. You know, what they would have ended up doing. But I mean, there's expectations all across the board now.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to carry your weight in volleyball, and Coach McGuire certainly had the great run here recently. But now it's the postseason time, so we'll see if they can't go on a little bit of a run.
I know Eric Galco's next. I'll just say this about the volleyball top 10. Wisconsin 1, Minnesota 3, Nebraska 4, and Ohio State 8, Purdue 9. That's 5 teams among the top 9. But we saw that in basketball, and it didn't work out so well for them. But I think it probably will. They're pretty dominant. Wisconsin, of course, 13-0 on the season. Unanimous. Number 1, Baylor finished the year at number 11 in the national poll. When we come back, the NFL draft is creeping up on us. Eric Galco from OptimumScouting.com. He'll be next on SicEm365 Radio. Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, all throughout the month of March. When Ted Teague contacted me, he said, hey, we're having a championship drive like Baylor men's and women's basketball. Well, the women, of course, the way it ended against UConn sucked, but the men delivered the championship. The women have had their 3. And it's championship month even now at Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Loop 340 east of 84 in Waco. You can go online, AlanSamuelsDCJ.com. Here's what they have. Ram Truck Month, 3-peat winner. Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Top safety pick for trucks named in 2021. The 2021 new Ram 1500 Crew Cab, the Lone Star, total values of $5,500 or 0% for 84 months. There's options on Jeep, the celebration event, the most decorated of SUVs available, built tough. 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude, values up to $5,250 or 0% 84 months. There's the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, $3,750 in total value, 0% for 72 months. And the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited, total values, this is the 2021, of up to $7,000 or 0% for 72 months. It's championship month drive yet again. Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Loop 340 east of 84 in Waco.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, everyone. This is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like mortgage lending, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Let
Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
Play action, Burrow. Deep left sideline, Jefferson knocked down. Patrick Surtain, the freshman, got a hand on it.
The 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Edward Jones Investments with financial advisor Tom Albers, staying in touch with you and your money through these difficult and changing times. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
Optimum Scouting, football scouting consultant, NFL Draft. President Eric Galko joins us on SicEm365 Radio on this Friday, April the 9th. Paul, what day is the draft? 26th, 7th, or whatever it is?
I don't even know. Month.
It's later in the month, and of course, Eric Galko is bunkered down and getting himself ready to put together. Well, not getting ready. He's been doing this. And Eric, good afternoon. How you been?
I'm doing well, David. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. Now, is it okay if I tell everyone why you didn't feel good yesterday, did you?
No, I'm just feeling better this afternoon, so I'm getting back to the normal after an important day yesterday.
Yeah, good for you. I'm glad you're feeling good. Thanks for being a part of the show. Eric, what is it like for someone like you that crunches so much information, and you do a lot of it, of course, a lot of it is why you have become someone that people read and also want to know, hear from. How much do you feel like any kind of pressure at all to do what you do between now and the draft to try to make sure you hit on certain things, or is that almost impossible these days?
No, that's a great question because, in our consulting, right, we don't anymore when we're consulting, we're not just worried about a mock draft or a page view or who likes what or over underrated. We've got to be right. So myself and our staff put a lot of pressure on ourselves all the time, and we aim to be right in August before the season. So we do a lot of research, and you realize that, hey, these players don't change too much, and sometimes you get infatuated by pro day data or an all-star game or such. And I think the really important thing you realize is that football is a little bit pretty straightforward. If you do the work in the preseason and throughout the year, you get a pretty good feel for these guys as well. So the pressure always mounts this time of year, and hey, these guys are about to be multi-millionaires that are being hired by multi-billion-dollar companies. So a lot of pressure on the teams as well.
Eric, how do you think the Panthers trade for Sam Darnold shakes up that top 10?
I think it shows, first off, that Darnold probably should have been traded a few weeks ago. The New York Jets had multiple offers for a second-round pick in 2021, and they kind of held out for more. And I think the NFL, in general, liked Sam Darnold, but didn't like him enough to, wait an entire process or trade a first-round pick for him. So the Panthers were able to kind of sit back and wait. And I think what Carolina likely realized is that, hey, they're not going to be able to get up into the top 4 to pick one of the top 4 quarterbacks in this draft. So I think that the Panthers making that move tells me that, hey, it's even more likely that quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 to the Detroit Lions, because the Panthers knew that, hey, we're not going to move up. We've got to get some other quarterback in here, and Sam Darnold's going to be our best bet. And to be honest, I think they got a fantastic deal out of Sam Darnold, because if they want to move back from 8 to 13 or to 14 in this draft, they can recoup all those picks they traded for Sam Darnold. So I think it was a slam dunk move by the Carolina Panthers.
Eric, how do you view this crop of quarterbacks? There's always talk about, well, next year is going to be the year where there's like this great, but I mean, Trevor Lawrence, we've been talking about him for forever. How do you view the kind of these top 4 or 5 guys?
Yeah, the top 4, and those top 4 being Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Zach Wilson. Those 4 guys are 4 of the better quarterback prospects we've seen. Trevor Lawrence is somewhere between Sam Darnold and Andrew Luck as a prospect. Zach Wilson has a lot of Kyler Murray to his game, and why teams are infatuated with him. Trey Lance reminds of Josh Allen, and Justin Fields has a lot of young Cam Newton in him, and those comparisons aren't lofty. I think comparisons sometimes are overdone, but all 4 of those guys have earned those comparisons. So I think all 4 of those guys will go really early. Now, historically, we find out that, hey, at least half of first-round quarterbacks don't make it in the NFL, and some that's based off circumstance, some based off talent. But to answer your question, we haven't seen a quarterback class with 4 quarterbacks viewed this highly around the NFL in quite some time. Then, of course, a couple teams, I'm not sure how many, but a couple teams value Mac Jones of Alabama in somewhat of a similar capacity as well. But really, it's a special quarterback class that teams, as you can tell, they're fighting to get to that top 4 picks to get one of those top 4 guys.
The Cowboys have the 10th overall pick. We've seen Patrick Surtain. Also, maybe somebody slides.
J.C. Horner.
Yeah, we've seen also, we know Jerry, when toys become available to him as far as offense, even if they have as many weapons as they do. If it's not Patrick Surtain at 10, who do you think it might be, or what do you think they should do?
Yeah, first off, I think Dallas is a great situation. And among those teams in the top 10, them, the Bengals, and maybe the Dolphins are so happy because they are very confident in their quarterback for the future. And when it's a heavy quarterback draft and you've got your guy, it makes it so much more valuable because you can stay put. You can move up a few spots. If one of those quarterbacks slides to 8, 9, or 10, you can move back. So Dallas is in a really, really good spot. And I think they're likely going to stay put no matter what. Patrick Surtain is, I think it's been reported, likely their choice. Rashawn Slater, left tackle from Northwestern, a guy that I like a lot. Penei Sewell, who's a left tackle from Oregon, he might be there. I think Cowboys fans are I don't get dash their host, but Kyle Pitts of Florida will not be there at the 10th overall pick, almost no matter what. So I think, though, they won't get Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts, but they can sit back. Hopefully someone trades above them for a quarterback for the 5th guy, and they can get Rashawn Slater or Penei Sewell, a great left tackle. Both of them are left guards, and they can get a top cornerback like J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain. So honestly, they can't go wrong with either one of those guys. It's about an 11-player draft or 12-player draft at the very, very top, and Dallas is going to get one of those really special players.
Eric, for Kyle Pitts, I know that a lot of times people would say don't take a tight end that high, but he's pretty unique, isn't he? Isn't he more of a hybrid than just a straight-up tight end?
He is. I think he fits the NFL game right now, especially. Look at Darren Waller in Las Vegas. That's his most direct comparison. Darren Waller is by far best offensive player in Las Vegas and one of the best in the entire NFL if you had to rank them right now. So I think the Darren Waller comparison is really there. But I think some NFL teams that are not picking that early, so maybe they don't have that pressure, they're wondering the same thing, though, saying, hey, we know this guy is special, but tight ends just mostly aren't that valuable. And how early do you take a guy like Kyle Pitts who, best case, he's Darren Waller, but if he's even a little bit worse than Darren Waller, it's probably a bad pick. So I think it's still a very much a risk, but again, like you mentioned, he's a pretty special player, and I always tell teams that, hey, you count the number of franchise quarterbacks in the draft, they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, however many there are. Then you look at the guys that we've maybe never seen before, and they usually go right after the quarterbacks. And Kyle Pitts is the guy that has a Darren Waller comparison, but between his combine measurables, his production, his breakout ability, he's a guy that we haven't really seen before, and those guys always go early.
Eric, do you see there being, there's always misses, obviously, but do you see there being more because the build-up for the draft is a little bit different, or have they found a way to do things well enough to where it's going to be pretty much the same as it always was information-wise?
I think it's been fascinating talking to teams around the NFL because the pro days being mini combines, and every day this team is the star of the show. It's very hard to overcome bias if you see you're at a pro day at Texas Tech or at Tulsa and you see a guy in person and you like him, right? The NFL Combine, you kind of become numb to all those numbers and all those guys in their underwear running around, that you don't get infatuated with some player, maybe one or two guys, but not a lot of guys. This year, teams, every single college had, their own day to be the star of the show. So I think teams are wondering, how much that they're maybe overweighting the pro day because they don't get the kind of unbiased view like the NFL Combine. So that's really important. The opt-out players is a big discussion right now. There are some NFL teams who said, hey, if a guy opted out, he better have looked in perfect Greek god shape at his pro day, because if he can't stay in shape after not playing September through December, then he's not going to be a guy we want to draft as well. So those are the two big dynamics that teams are looking at. But the last thing on that point, this is one of the weakest drafts in NFL history. And I think NFL teams know that. So by the third or fourth round, NFL teams right now are not overly optimistic they're going to be able to find some surprises like they have in years past.
I don't have the list in front of me, and I haven't started digging, thoroughly into what is or who is whatever, but I've kind of paid attention to it. Obviously, Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State, opted out. He's a hell of a player. He's a first-round pick. Yep. Who are the others who opted out that might be first-round talent, in your opinion?
Yeah, Jamar Chase comes to mind right away.
Okay.
Right? Jamar Chase of LSU opted out from college football, but him and Micah Parsons are the two big ones that NFL teams are wondering, maybe old-fashioned, saying, hey, do I want a guy that quit on his team? But I think more importantly, these teams are wondering, they haven't played football, and by the time the season starts, right, 20 months, 24 months, are they going to be hurt right away? Do they miss a year of mental development in their offense or defense? So I think those two players, I think of those two, Chase is going to be okay. But Micah Parsons is the one that I would not be surprised at all if he slides a bit on draft day, because not every team likes the other piece of Micah Parsons. They like the talent on the field, but the opt-out and all that stuff is where the teams have concern. So he's one of the biggest players that I talk to teams, and they said, hey, he's a really talented guy. He'd be a guy that we like, but they know that some other teams are saying, you know what, opt-out guy, maybe some red flags, we're out on him.
Yeah, I was curious about there's just the idea of the opt-out for old school scouts can't really play that well, can it?
No, and it's I think it's here to stay. Talking with people at the college level and head coaches at the college level for next year's draft, and they said it's going to happen. I think some of the more progressive college coaches are okay with it, and it's hard to argue with a player like Jamar Chase, who's going to go 5th overall, like the Cincinnati Bengals, and didn't play this year. He made a good business decision. He didn't risk injury. He didn't risk any of that stuff. He's going to be the first non-quarterback taken. So I think we see it's almost indicated a little bit. Now we'll see what happens next year when we're not under the guise of COVID to make that decision. But I don't think it's something that we're going to see, because I think we'll see guys maybe opt out mid-season after an injury, or we might go to the point where some guys are just on a bad team and they just say, I'm opting out. So I don't think this opting out is going to stop anytime soon.
How much are the measurements or the health or whatever they're doing, because they have to do it now on pro days rather than what would normally be, even visits or whatever else? Is there going to be almost an overreaction because that's about the only time somebody can find or look or get deep into a player's health or whatever it is?
Yeah, so the NFL just flew in about 150 players to Indianapolis earlier this week to do some medical rechecks, which is really the biggest, most important piece of the NFL Combine for a lot of teams that don't care about athletic testing as much, because they want to know if a guy has a debilitating injury or is going to need surgery, or, God forbid, has a heart issue that they have to kind of address right away for that player's health. So the NFL Combine medical rechecks happened earlier this week, and I have not heard anybody yet that's fallen off a cliff for teams because of their medical background. But there are definitely a couple of players, but that piece still existing is really the only holdover from years past. And I think teams don't know what to make of this year. I think we'll see a lot of teams draft safe. They'll draft a lot of offensive linemen and athletic corners. They'll draft a lot of big school players throughout this draft as well. Their NFL GMs are certainly worried this year. And if you look back at last year in the NFL draft, I think we talked at the Senior Bowl earlier this year. Teams took basically all the Senior Bowl guys a year ago. They took all of the guys from Power 5 schools, and that was about it. And they didn't really take any chances a year ago, and I think this year more so than ever, take many chances, especially in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Eric, let's be honest. It's we're a couple of weeks away or so, Paul, 2 or 3 weeks away from the draft. When do you start not sleeping and just chugging monster drinks? Or have you already begun that?
These days, it's really just the week of the draft I get excited for, and it's usually a busy time because we're still consulting and solving problems. But I think it's the week of the draft because then I got the big whiteboard up there, and I'm thinking scenarios, if this, not this. And my scenarios go to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. If Jamar Chase goes to the Bengals, where does this mediocre receiver go in the 5th round? So it starts week out of the draft that I'll be up for about 4 or 5 days straight. So.
Do you have like a big, like you have like magnets and stuff that you move around?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm magnets. I got the markers. I got 3 or 4 whiteboards. I got cork boards. I'm a disorganized mess. I do my best to kind of figure it all out, like Charlie Day in that movie.
I'd like to see just the YouTube of this one time. It only has to be about like 3 minutes long, just of one thing.
That's it.
I would love to see.
I'll be right though too. I'll be like a beautiful mind. I'll be right in everything I'm saying too, but I'll look like a crazy person.
Have you ever found, walking back into wherever you live, have you ever like walked in and you found a personnel director of the Buccaneers or a general manager of the Seahawks like trying to steal your information?
No, I try to share a lot and what I can, and certainly, I know a lot of confidential. It's not a lot. I know some team confidential information. I try to keep that as private as possible, just so I can help them and advise them as well. But it's really a lot for me of just kind of putting the pieces and getting small snippets here from teams, from agents, from colleges, and helping people we work with put it all together. So it's a lot of just racking in my brain all the time. And if I can convey that in a whiteboard or a Word document, I'll try to do my best. But there's a lot going on in this brain right now between now and April 27th.
I can't even imagine. If we put a needle in your head and tried to bring all that out, it would be something like Chinese to us.
I'd pop.
Yeah.
I'd pop to do that. It's too big right now.
One more thing. If you miss something big, and I'm not saying that you do, but let's just, you wouldn't be the only one but let's say you some reason or another, someone picks somebody that's out of whack, and that might throw everything off. Do you sleep then, or is that like a loss for a team? You always ask coaches and players, what do you remember most, a championship or a critical loss? And they always talk about the loss. You have hundreds of names you're dealing with, 32 teams. Has anything like that ever like beaten you up that night after the draft?
Absolutely. Not being aware. I mean, the biggest nightmare that if you ask NFL scouts, the biggest nightmare they'll have, and some scouts you ask them, it's a recurring nightmare, is they didn't grade or evaluate a player who gets drafted. That's the NFL area scout's biggest fear, because if you do that, then the Monday after the NFL draft, you might as well just start packing your things, because NFL teams don't allow for people to not know who's being drafted. So that's the kind of stuff that I lose sleep over, making sure that not only doing all the draft picks, all the PSAs, and really, what team they fit into, how they fit best, to make sure I do my best to advise. But that's the biggest fear for anybody that covers the draft and is paid to do it and takes a lot of pride in it, because you can't not know a player. That's the biggest thing.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I know you're grinding on it. Appreciate it as always. We'll try to get Eric, if you don't mind, on a couple more times between now and the draft. We love talking to him. And I was nice to him. I was nice to you today. I didn't bring up the other stuff.
No, it's too late now. You just did it.
What other stuff?
The other stuff.
I didn't say anything about what he used.
Yeah, look, he hung up.
Eric's a good dude, man. Appreciate it, Eric Galco. OptimumScouting.com. At 5:30, Art Strickland's going to check in from Augusta National. They pretty much, just a couple of 3 groups left as we find out who makes the cut or not. All right, when we come back, let's go over a couple of things, some stories that were out there today, maybe of interest to you. 254-339-1122. There are some of you who texted us earlier today. Let's see. There was one more from here. From the 254. I am still riding this high. Probably watched the extended highlights 40 times over the drop $300 on championship memorabilia that I really don't even need. Daniel, whoa, I thought UT won the NIT under Shaka Smart, so UT can claim if there is any love. Sarcasm. Appreciate that. And, of course, we had Diane at the top. Play all that natty stuff over and over. It will never get old. When we come back, how much are you still soaking in? Tonight, the first pitch for baseball, the parade on Tuesday, SicEm365 Radio.
The 22-year anniversary sales event continues now at Richard Carr Motors with big anniversary savings on all new or pre-owned cars and trucks on the lot. Get 3 big rows of first-class seating, power, technology, safety, and a superior ride. That's what makes the Enclave second to none. And during the Richard Carr anniversary sales event, save $8,500 on Buick Enclaves. You've also got the power and luxury combined in the GMC Sierra truck, which is second to none. You can save $8,000 on a 2021 GMC Sierra, save $7,000 off a 2021 GMC Acadia, or save $6,750 off a GMC Terrain. And Richard Carr Motors not only has all of those great prices, but they're your local family dealer, and they are proud Baylor Bears that want to earn your business with those great prices, plus free oil changes with a new purchase and priority warranty service on all vehicles purchased. So come by their clean and disinfected showroom to take a test drive or let them bring the test drive to you. It's the big 22-year anniversary sales event going on now at Richard Carr. Sic'em Bears, and congratulations to the national champion Baylor Bears.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
At Marco's Pizza, get craveable pizza made the Italian way with dough made from scratch, an original sauce recipe, 3 fresh signature cheeses, and premium toppings you love, served hot and safe. Right now, you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Why stop at just one? Order with your app or at marcos.com for curbside, carryout, or delivery today. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingram with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
The SicEm365 Radio Live Guest VIP Hotline is sponsored by Stonewood Dental. We are all in this together.
All right, we all would not be surprised if at some point here in the next few days, Jerome Tang, Baylor's longtime assistant coach under Scott Drew, was to get an opportunity to be a head coach at a program. We've seen Paul Mills, Matt Driscoll, Grant McCaslin. We know how good and how important Jerome Tang has been. There was a report by Dick Weiss. We've had him on the show. Works for the New York, I think it's the New York Post. He's a college basketball writer, reporting that Jerome Tang had been offered and accepted the job at UTEP. David Kay of Athletic Communications, who does that for Baylor men's basketball, telling me that that's not true at all. Jeff Goodman, who we've had on many times, a national analyst, saying that, again, that report is not true. That doesn't mean that won't happen, but it's not official. And or what Jerome Tang is saying is that he has not been offered the job. That just could mean that they're discussing it, but that's not yet official.
For some reason, I had this particular Red Raider fan that loves to pop in my mentions like every few months to just like pop off and say something. And so I just retweeted Jeff Goodman just basically saying that it wasn't true. And he jumped in to tell me, basically, well, just wait. It's going to like that kind of a deal. Like I'm somehow going to be disappointed if it happens. If Jerome Tang gets a head coaching job, I'll be thrilled for him. What are you talking about? I'll be absolutely thrilled for him. I'm not stupid enough to think that the band's going to stay together for their entire careers. They just won a national championship. They can all go wherever the heck they want to for all I care at this point because they did what they set out to do. So if Jerome Tang leaves eventually this offseason, next offseason, Alvin Brooks III, whoever, they did what they came to do. I don't care. In terms of oh no, they're leaving. That's never going to cross my mind. Are you kidding me? So
that's Texas Tech, who just lost their head coach. Yeah. Once in a lifetime generation.
I don't want to even focus on this guy. I'm just saying he does pop up from time to time, and so he popped off a few minutes ago as though I'm worried about it or something.
It's also not like Scott has not replaced these guys before.
Exactly.
It's not a finite resource.
Do you think it would be easier for him to now hire assistant coaches? I would think so. So
people want to work for Scott, and before this, people wanted to work for him anyway. So and look, Jerome Tang's been here 18 years. It's overdue time for him to probably be a head coach. But this is where his family all grew up and his kids and all that. So if you're comfortable, you're comfortable. Wait for the one that you want to leave for.
Well, and if it turns out to be true in like 3 or 4 days, then it turns out to be true. Yeah. It's just not true right now.
Let's see what happens. Also, this disturbed me a little bit. Not like it just did because there's a report, the Sports Business Journal, reporting that the University of Hartford is considering moving their athletics competition sports to Division III. University of Hartford is close to our heart because of John Gallagher, who's been on with us. They're losing millions of dollars a year, and they're not the only athletic department, but apparently it's a large number. And I hope then for John Gallagher that this isn't true for his basketball program. And if it is, he will find some space himself. He'll find somebody else to go to. But I hope the neighborhood stays together, as he says.
Well, one of the Hartford spokespeople, I don't know who it was that spoke. I don't know them well enough, but whoever it was that was talking said that, they're losing millions. And they said people act like you get a basketball team, a men's team, to the NCAA tournament that you're going to make all this money, and that's just simply not the case because they don't have the money to start with. So all that money they get is just automatically going into travel and board and food and all of those different things. And to believe that there's some people out there that want to, better college sports by, opening up the banks basically and saying, well, Alabama's got waterfalls in their facilities. Why can't we pay the players all this money? Hartford is going to basically go eliminate sports. So there is, 4 or 5 sports teams that there's less opportunity. So that's a 50-something student athletes that now don't have that opportunity that might have otherwise. So we're going to see the JUCOs get bloated. We're going to see the lower levels. I mean, there's no way they can pay players. There's no way Division II and III can pay players. There's no way a lot of Division I can pay players. So, all this stuff sounds good, and I'm all for athletes, getting more in certain cases and all of that. But, the way it's portrayed is that we should just open the floodgates, and you're going to ruin college sports. You're going to ruin it.
That's why the NCAA needs to find a way to embrace name, image, likeness, because that costs them no money. Costs them no money. that's somebody else's money that's going to pay the players.
Well, we need to stop thinking the NCAA is going to fix anything.
No, I know.
Point,
but that's like so
they're scrambling for their lives right now.
Yeah.
All right. Craig brought this up about the ratings. I know we have Art Strickland in the next segment from Augusta. March Madness, they generated the men's tournament $943.7 million in the national broadcast advertising for CBS and Turner Sports. The year before was $775 million. The Baylor game against Gonzaga, which had 16.92 million viewers, which makes it the least watched championship game on record, yet it also was the most watched non-football sports broadcast since Game 7 of the 2019 World Series that had 23.22 million.
All right. I'm curious, and I'm
almost $1 billion.
I may be wrong on this, but I do think that like when we report or when things are reported about this is the least watched, they need to stop comparing it to when we only had 7 channels.
1980s.
Right. Yeah.
Or pre-COVID in some cases.
Okay. They also need to compare it to, when you have streaming and cable and all these channel options, sometimes people watch the football game or the Super Bowl or the NCAA tournament because it was the only thing on, and other networks didn't even bother to counter program because they were going to lose. So people just turned it on and left it on.
They made about $1 billion.
Well, they initially reported the ratings and they said it was like 13 million something. Mm-hmm. That was in the morning. And then when I posted a tweet that for some reason went viral, I have no idea why people cared so much about the TV ratings, but then there was like an additional like 6 million that they had tacked on. So I don't know if that was from streaming numbers or whatever the case may be. But yeah, by the time it was all said and done, it was nearly 17 million people. And I had, again, in my mentions, a bunch of people was like, well, what you didn't mention was that this was the least watched since, and my whole thing is it not what?
No, not you. It's just everyone has to look for something negative about everything.
I mean, that's why I don't worry about other people's stuff or what they think. I mean, they're going to do what they do. But the whole point of my tweet was that I basically just took from Hollywood Reporter was that it's a good sign that the numbers are going back up. This is the least watched since, or the most watched since the last 2019. That's good news.
Yeah. So, here's why. I don't know if this is going to make you stress or stress less about Twitter. Look, people were always idiots.
Yes.
People were always idiots. Social media just gave them
a reason to show how much
idiots a microphone.
They gave them a place to gather.
Yeah, I know.
Before, they're idiots. They can't find each other. Now they can.
Somebody might post something about somebody saved a dog's life in the creek.
Who cares?
You got to realize how miserable people are.
Listen to me. I listen to you.
Yeah, but
somebody saved a dog in the creek, and somebody will find a reason how they handled the dog being pulled out of the creek is what I'm saying. So last year, the 62 commercials. The game itself, the Baylor-Gonzaga game, had 68 commercials. It generated $102.7 million gross revenue for CBS. $1.65 million a spot.
Yeah. By the way, following up something we reported from yesterday, ESPN scrapping that plan for no volleyball announcers. They got raked over the coals.
Why would they have ever thought they could get away with that?
That's the question. Why would the NCAA and ESPN? Why would you just want to turn on and watch? You're not going to hear a player's name. You're, I guess, relying on the PA announcer to do all that stuff for you.
But why in the world, in this environment, even if they feel like there shouldn't be, would they try to slide that through the system?
3 weeks after the women's basketball tournament in San Antonio, absolutely, what in the bed. They're going to be like, people just watch volleyball with no context.
How is it even a question of doing it when every broadcast has practically been from home anyways? Why would that be an issue in any way, shape, or form? That's just somebody being really dumb to think that would somehow go through.
All right, so you guys know, and Armstrong helped me get through this, and I appreciate that I was suspended from Twitter. It was about a week ago. What was it? When was that? Thursday, a week ago, I think it was, because I put stick your head in a tank of gasoline, light it with a match. I've used that hundreds of times on the air, and I've also put it on the Twitter feed, and I got suspended for like 12 hours. I was on an Uber drive on Friday. No, this would have been perhaps Sunday, to go meet Ashley Hodge at dinner. The Uber ride was like $15, and I always tip. Paul, I'm always a big tipper. I tipped the guy like $5. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I gave him $5, 30%. I always do that. He was very nice. I then get an email. Hi, David. All riders and drivers are required to wear a face cover or mask when using Uber. This is to help protect everyone's health and safety. We received a report from a driver that you were not wearing a face cover or mask over your mouth and nose during a recent trip.
Were you?
Yes, I pulled it down because I was trying to get a breath, like, you know, and I want to go. Can I go back and take his money? Can I go back and get my $5 back?
No.
Okay. Bastard.
Yeah, that's screwed up, and it's insane.
I'm never going to tip another Uber driver again because of this guy who turned me in. I think his name was Saeed. I believe. Saeed's the one I gave $5. Okay, when we come back, Art Strickland from Augusta National. Justin Rose has a one-shot lead after what was an up-and-down day for him, but he caught it and came back and got himself back to where he started. SicEm365 Radio.
I hate my job, but I don't mind getting up in the morning. I dread each day, but I can't wait to get out of bed. You ask me why, and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue. Next in line.
It's a name and a memory that called us back. It's a belief and a labor that will carry us forward. It's a time and experience that will make you return. The new Bear Ridge Golf Club, a space revitalized, a course restored, a new experience. For a tee time today, call the Pro Shop at 254-848-7800. Go to BearRidgeWaco.com, just south of Waco on Highway 84. Come join us at Bear Ridge Golf Club.
Texas board-certified personal injury trial lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recall drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at TexasTrialLawyer.com. Principal office located in Houston, Texas.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
It's time to fire up the grill, heat up the oven, or get that deep fryer going to enjoy the top quality products at Waco Custom Marketplace. Order 30-pound sacks of live crawfish by 6 on Wednesday. Pick up on Friday afternoon after 2 or Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. 30-pound sacks of live crawfish available right now for $4.25 a pound. Find all the crawfish boil ingredients you need, including red beef potatoes, sausage, corn cobbettes, and Louisiana boil seasoning. Make your order for live crawfish by Wednesday at 6. Pick up on Friday after 2 or all day Saturday, and enjoy the weekend. Waco Custom Marketplace, your home for fresh baked kolache, cinnamon rolls every day. Butcher shop to cut your steaks the way you want. Fresh seafood, summer sausage, boudin, house cured and smoked bacon, spices, seasoning, soup mixes, and more, and weekly gift boxes for any occasion. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
SicEm365 Radio's coverage of the Masters from Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia is brought to you by Bear Ridge.
All right, here we go. SicEm365 Radio. We'll have Paul's 5 at 5:55 momentarily. We're now joined by Art Strickland. This is such a treat. Back-to-back days. He's at Augusta National. He is there as the Masters round 2 winding down. Art, thank you very much. Yesterday, the course played hard, difficult, and it wasn't much easier today. Justin Rose, I thought, showed quite a bit because he lost 3 strokes to his lead, and then came back and found a way to get it back in the back nine. What did he say about his round and how he was able to not panic?
Well, he just said, it's Augusta, and you expect to have some bumps on the road. I think we may have talked earlier that some courses have danger holes. Augusta has 18 danger holes. So when he found some of those in the front nine, he did not panic. He's played 56 rounds in competition here, or now 57 rounds in competition here, Smokey. He knows his way around here. World-class player, won at Marion, won the U.S. Open at Marion, the toughest setup the USGA could have. Tough conditions at Augusta are not going to scare him.
Art, what surprises you about today and the way that some guys have been able to make a move?
Well, I guess a couple ways. Surprised that Dustin Johnson missed the cut. I really felt like, the way he's been playing so well here in November and world-class player. Maybe I bought into the hype a little bit on Dustin Johnson, but surprised he missed the cut today. Had to birdie 18, didn't do it. So surprised about that. Not surprised about Jordan Spieth. I think everybody knows his history at Augusta. Obviously won here in record fashion. Could have won 2 other times very easily. Lost to Bubba Watson, and then gave away a tournament to Danny Willett when he had a 5-shot lead. So really not surprised about that. Very interested to see what happens with Will Zalatoris. Great player from the Dallas area. Won the U.S. Junior. Really is the next great player. He and Scotty Sheff were 2 next great players to come out of Texas, and really see what he's going to do playing the last group tomorrow. Really interested to watch that.
You mentioned Dustin Johnson. There's a lot of big names that did not make the cut. I mean, there are some dudes that just didn't make it. Koepka, of course, we knew. Rory McIlroy. Westwood had been playing so well. He's going to miss the cut. He's had a bad, of course, McIlroy, you mentioned him. Among Cantley, who you would think would be at least on the, playing this weekend. Were they just blown away? Were they just not ready for the greens? Did they change the greens from the practice rounds until Thursday?
I think that maybe, and again, this is where experience, like Justin Rose had. I just think maybe they thought in November this course was gettable, and so we're going to come back in April. It's going to be a little bit warmer, but the course will still be gettable. I think that's the mindset. And if you haven't played here many times, that's what you think. What I saw in November is what I'm going to see in April. And the pros will tell you, guys who have been here a long time, Smokey, and you may have heard this, that conditions that for Monday or Tuesday can change by Thursday. They'll mow the green differently, or they'll do the pattern different. So just because you show up on a Monday and Tuesday and you get in a couple of good practice rounds, that's not what you're necessarily going to see on Thursday and Friday. And I just think some of the guys, maybe guys like a Cantley, maybe guys that, are not used to the conditions, surprised by that. Right now, Rory is going through a new instructor. He just hired one of the top European instructors to overhaul his swing. So not overly surprised by Rory's lack of performance. He tends to go through a swing change as hard, but it also psychological with him. He goes by that cabin on the 10th hole. He hit every time he plays here, and he's got to remember that.
Art, is there anybody that's at 2 under or 3 under, maybe even 1 under outside of DeChambeau, because we know what kind of move he can make, that you think can really make a move tomorrow?
You know, I continue to like Patrick Reed. You know, he's not at the top of the leaderboard, but guys that have won here have a devil-may care, if you can use that attitude. I like fighters. I think Patrick Reed's a fighter. You know, I don't know if he can get all the way back, but I certainly would not. I would not dismiss his chances. You know, I think that guys that have figured this out before, and Patrick Reed certainly has, I think you can't discount their choices going to the weekend.
All right, so I think I saw or heard a note that nobody who has ever ended the first round 7 strokes back or further has ever won at Augusta National. And so I don't know who that would eliminate, because there's a lot of guys that were out back deep. What did it say? I mean, the DeChambeau's a lightning rod name, right? And then he sits there and does what he does from 4 over, ends up 1 under. He's capable. Right. Is he not capable, Art, of just going nuts this weekend?
Well, you saw that at Wingfoot. I mean, Wingfoot's a very claustrophobic, imposing golf course. He went nuts at Wingfoot. Now, I'm the first to say I never thought he could do it. So you can't dismiss him. I think Augusta trying to drive it over the trees, which is certainly what he did at Wingfoot to win the U.S. Open. I think that strategy didn't work as well. You've got to be so precise with your short game. Can't drive it in the trees all the time. I'm not sure that I would put much stock in DeChambeau for the weekend. Certainly, he proved me wrong at Wingfoot last year. Could certainly prove me wrong again. But I like guys that have kind of figured this out, that have had success here. And I would, like I said, I would include Patrick Reed in that list. You know, Tommy Fleetwood's been close here a couple of times. Guys who have had success at Augusta. Justin Thomas, certainly a name to watch for the weekend. Those are the guys that I would certainly be watching intently if I was interested in putting out a few coin on the outcome, as they say.
All right, Craig, we all had our picks. I did terrible. Craig's team had a great names, and they've all flamed out. You got Berger at the cut line.
Rob Bolton just texted me and said he's out of town and he's only watched like a couple minutes of it so far.
Art, if Justin Rose, and usually when you lead at the Augusta, and someone like him has never won the Masters, but he's won a major, when someone like that gets to the weekend, it's hard for anyone to catch him. I'm not saying he can't be caught, because we've seen it happen a lot, but with Jordan Spieth where he is and the way he's been playing, and he finished last weekend and won, wouldn't you say he's the lead dog right now?
I certainly would say he's one of them. I think you would be, feel good about putting, money or support on somebody. I think Spieth would certainly be a guy to do that with. It's golf, so anything can happen, which is why we love it. But, I could certainly see a Rose Spieth showdown on Sunday. That would not surprise me at all. With Justin Thomas nipping at their heels, the most intriguing name is Zalatoris, because he is such a young kid, a lot of promise. Usually the Masters is not where you get your first win. You go back and look at guys that have made the Masters their first win. Probably Fuzzy's the last guy to do that. So I wouldn't think he'd win, but that's an intriguing name to look at. And then you got guys that always seem to be there. Tony Finau is there forever, never seems to get it done. But I like a little, as they say, it's a racetrack. I like a little Rose, Spieth, Justin Thomas Fox for the Quintella for the weekend.
Well, so you have Spieth, who went to Jesuit. You have Zalatoris, who went to Trinity Christian Academy. So you've got, there's no question, a Dallas flavor near and at the top of the leaderboard. Art, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. You failed me on the shirts. Paul's gotten me in touch with somebody to help me out, Adam Winkler. I'll give everyone Adam's text number so he can do stuff.
You shouldn't be saying it anyway.
Huh?
Don't say it
He didn't
anyway.
buy all
What did I say?
Championship shirts.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
hey.
All right, okay, that's fine. I don't know who Adam Winkler is. Zinkler. Adam Zinkler. Thanks for Art. Enjoy the weekend, buddy. Thanks for your time. Thanks to Art Strickland.
Egg salad coming your direction, pal.
There you go. The egg salad sandwiches are fantastic. The pimiento. How do you say that?
Pimento.
Yeah, that one too. I hate it.
Are you
I'm not.
Pimiento?
Pimiento.
I was trying to do it in Latin.
Pimento.
All of our
Latin's a
Masters
dead
updates this week have been brought to you by Bear Ridge. Tea time, call 254-848-7800, BearRidgeWaco.com. A space revitalized, a course restored, a new experience thanks to Tommy Tompkins and his people at Bear Ridge Golf Course on Highway 84, Golf Club, just south of Waco. All right, Paul, we're going to break here to come back with you.
No, we've already
dance for a little bit. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Well, all right, well, let's do here's the leaderboard as they go to the weekend. Justin Rose is shot up on Zalatoris and Brian Harmon, the lefty. Leishman, Spieth, Wiesberger. Leishman and Spieth are 5 under. Boy, Leishman had a really nice round. Wiesberger, Finau, Thomas, these are some bigger names at 4 under, not so much Wiesberger. Kim, 4 under. And is he the one that putted with a 3-wood?
Yes.
Yeah, he made 4 pars to finish the round with the 3-wood.
Champ and Matsuyama 4 under. Schauffele's trying to get there. He's on 18. At 2 under par, Ryan Palmer, Cameron Smith, Morikawa, Connors, DeChambeau in a group with Jones and Sink and Hovland at 1 under, and Hovland came from way back, so he's done well. In fact, he was 3 over, wasn't he, at one point, Hovland, or something like that, maybe even worse.
Well, he started, triple bogey the first hole, the whole darn thing.
At even a chunk, and we can't get to all of them, but includes Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick. How about Enric Stenson? We haven't heard his name in a while. He's at even. Also, Answer, even despite the penalty. Rahm is at even. He just finished with a par in 18 to finish even. Patrick Reed is at even with a couple of holes left to play.
Hey, big news right now for my team is that as long as he pars the last 2 holes, Daniel Berger makes the cut, and then Armstrong has to worry about me on the weekend.
Well, I'm not worried. Either way.
Well, wait a minute. I have Berger at 4 over.
No, he's 3.
He just bogeyed.
He just bogeyed
17.
Dang it! Just now. Now he's got like birdie 18.
Like on the screen here, Armstrong's flat screen. Daniel Berger just bogeyed. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings there, but I was like, no.
If he doesn't birdie here, I win.
He has to birdie 18.
He's got a birdie 18, which is hard to do,
and
apparently.
18, well, you know, he's a good player, though. We'll give it to the Seminole. We'll see if he can come through. But as you were saying that, I saw the number pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
That he bogeyed 17, so he's now a stroke back of the cut. Some names like Dustin Johnson and Roy McIlroy, among others, they all missed the cut. All right, Paul.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55.
All right, this is by request today. Someone emailed me and asked me to do Top 5 golf movies since I've done it for the big events. And this one was actually hard because I will tell you right now, there's only 3 really good golf movies and everything else is up for a massive debate. So my top 3 are real. The other 2...
then how can it be a 5?
I'm in the weeds a little bit. I was doing it to satisfy a request. So number 5, and this movie's really problematic for me, but of all the, like I looked through lists and stuff, it's really problematic, but I enjoyed most of it. Save for a stupid movie trope that they do, and then the dialogue at the end. But The Legend of Bagger Vance with Will Smith and Matt Damon.
I've seen that one. It's okay. Yeah.
What's your issue with it? I've seen like parts of it. I've never seen the full thing.
It's the dialogue is not great. I mean, like there's a scene at the end of the movie when I'm not going to, I'll ruin it. There's a 3-way tie at the end of this tournament that they do. And Charlize Theron, who is the female lead in the movie, like yells out, "Randolph Judah has just tied." Da, 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 da. It's the longest line ever. And like, who would do that?
Are you complaining about an appearance by what's her name?
Charlize Theron.
You're complaining about
it's not one of her better lines.
She's an Academy Pimiento or something like that.
This is, I think, might be the spot where she says that line that you got it up. Number 4 is The Caddy Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. This movie is all right. It's funny. It's a Dean and Jerry movie if you're into the movies from the 60s. This is also famous because one of Dean Martin's, his signature song was first in this movie, That's Amore. So just for the fact that That's Amore exists in the world, it's a wonderful, beautiful song by a wonderful, beautiful Italian gentleman named Dean Martin. That's worth it for there. Number 3, and this is where the debate will come in with people, Caddyshack. An excellent, hilarious movie. Infinitely rewatchable. Everybody in the movie's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love Bill Murray, who was here in Waco a couple years back for a basketball game because of his son was on the staff or something like that.
And we were at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we missed out on that. But no, I love anything Bill Murray. And I bet there's a few people out there that are like number 3. Number 3, really? Yeah. So I'm interested to see who the top 2 are.
Yeah.
Number 2, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Well, I know who 1 is. 1's easy, but you're missing 1, but that's okay. Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
This
one was actually
easy.
This is number 1 is Tin Cup.
Yeah.
I've actually not seen this movie you're about to suggest to me, Smokey, which is why I couldn't put it in the list.
You know why it is? Oh, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
7 Days of Utopia. And David Cook, who's a Wacoan, is like the producer of the movie. So, I had him on. We had him on at the old place.
I was about to say 7 Days in Utopia.
He's the one that wrote the book, and so he's
And greatest game ever played.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen that with Shia LaBeouf?
That's why it's not on the list.
Because you hate Shia LaBeouf.
No, I hate him. I hate everything.
That's why the movie missed the list.
Yeah, that's why the movie missed the list. I hate everything he's ever done. He ruined an Indiana Jones movie. He's a horrible human being.
By the way, I just saw they're having Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, I mean, which they shouldn't do. I mean, he's 78 years old. But Indiana Jones 4 wasn't good specifically because of Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. It's too long past the glory years to
left this out
be the same.
Specifically because you just hate Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
You don't hate his performance in that movie. You just hate him.
I don't think he's ever. I don't think he's ever been good at
University of Florida graduate.
No.
I think
he's just a piece of crap.
Great.
He's just a piece of crap.
You say that's a personal opinion of him. You can divorce your personal opinion of him from his.
Okay, well, how do you spell his name?
I don't think he's ever been
Shia. Yeah, and then L-A-B.
L-E.
It shows you right there.
Oh, LaBeouf. Okay.
LaBeouf. I mean, I can think someone's a terrible human being and still think they're a good actor.
I don't think he's a good actor at all.
Okay.
I've never seen. I think I'm looking at movies that I've been in. I've seen. I liked Fury, but not because of him.
No, we're just going to go with Shia LaBeouf.
So are you saying it's a good movie, I guess?
I think it's a good movie, but it's more of like
he
when
was
I
in a
watched when I was
Transformers
younger.
movie.
He plays like
he's got to be cool.
He's Bobby Jones, I think. Right?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
So.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Way to go, Armstrong. Get them all riled up as we hit to the weekend.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I saw where he was arrested at Studio 54 one time. All right, so, okay, Paul. Yeah, the 7 Days of Utopia, David Cook from Waco wrote the book. Robert Duvall. So it's some pretty big names. So you'll have to go watch that one. Okay, this is the weekend of the
KJ
Masters.
Choi is in that.
Is he really?
He's the villain.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Daniel Berger is on 18. We'll kind of keep up with him as the day goes on to see if Armstrong just shuts out the competition. I don't think it's ever happened before. Thanks to our guest today. We appreciate everybody from start to finish. Kevin Rogers, former Baylor power forward. Boy, he was thrilled about everything this week. Tristan Ebner, Jared Sandler, Juice Johnson, Katie Stager-Smith, Eric Galco, and Art Strickland as well. Craig, any final thoughts for the week?
No, I'm glad it's the weekend, although I'm going to spend a lot of time at Baylor tomorrow with that open window. So, yeah, just looking forward to getting a little bit of a break and, checking out some football tomorrow, and I'll have some stuff on the website at some point.
Yeah, I think Brian Etheridge is coming into town as well, so we'll have some things. And Daniel Berger with a really nice drive just on the right side of the fairway, so he has a chance to get it close from that angle. Paul Catalina, Craig Smoak, thanks to Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie earlier. Thank you for listening. What a week. It's the week that Baylor, in case you did not know, won a national championship in men's basketball, and Monday they'll still have won it. I'm David Smoak for everyone. Good night. Have a great weekend. SicEm365 Radio.
want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
Pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com. Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
It's the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Allen Samuels. You'll find special pricing on a new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with total values up to $3,750 or 0% for 72 months. Also, check out the new 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Plus or Lux with up to $5,000 in total values or 0% interest for 84 months. Allen Samuels, the best place to find your new Jeep. Located at 201 West Loop 340.
Come by, let's be friends.
See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has been proudly serving Texans across the state for over 60 years. Call 254-772-8090 to find an agent who will provide a free review of your auto, home, and life coverage.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Ben Erlinson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Ben Erlinson, 100 North 6th Street in Waco, 254-759-8533. Edward Jones, member SIPC.